That's
Right.
awesome.
It's
Wait. How does the podcast start again?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's been too long since the
I think it started
did
with
it.
that clink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually do the clink. So welcome back, man.
Oh, mate, thank you so much for
Good to
having
see
me
ya.
back. That's awesome. We're doing part 2
Part 2.
of a however many part series.
Yeah.
We'll just see how far we can get before someone says, "Hang on a second, you've done more episodes than Jaws."
and-
So
How many Jaws movies?
7,
are there?
I think.
7. All right.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
pretty
we've
sure
got
I've got
another 5
7.
to go then.
Not fact checked, by the way.
Yeah. No fact checkers.
Let's point out the obvious.
Yes, this is a bit of a. I suppose this is almost a crossover episode. It's almost a cut loose, cut and cook, and a beer with.
Yeah.
I'd say because we've got. Tell us what
A
the
beer
plan
with-
is today.
A beer with cut and cook. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, dude, what I'm thinking is last time we talked about food and my show where I cut and cook. So I thought, how could I bring this show into the podcast and everything like that? So for all the listeners at home, I've got 2 cheeseburgers from Macca's. I've got 2 Zinger burgers from KFC. We've got some chips from both of them as well, and I have brought a plethora of sauces.
Nice.
I've got pretty much the staples that you should have in your cupboard.
Yeah.
And I thought, why not bring them all in? I'll show you like what you should have in your cupboard, so you've always got to go to, and then you can mix these together to create some really, really cool combos
Cool. I'm
that you can
excited.
use it on burgers, your fries, on nachos, on everything, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, let's get into it before the food goes cold.
Yeah.
and then
Let's
we
do
can
it
like
first.
chat about
yeah,
some
yeah.
other shit,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So we've got the fries, we've got the burgers. So what I thought I'd bring out is probably two sauces that everyone's got in their cupboard, right?
Yep.
And that is ketchup.
Ketchup or tomato sauce?
I always go ketchup. It's got
Yeah.
more herbs and spices, depth of flavor.
Yeah.
Real tomatoes. You can't go past the Heinz.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Heinz ketchup there for the cameras, and mayonnaise. Now, mayo, you can get your praise mayo, whatever mayo you like, the Hillman's. This is just plain old Coles mayonnaise, traditional,
Yep.
right? Then you can step up from a couple of those, right? You can step up from normal mayonnaise
Oh,
to
here
some
we go.
Kewpie.
Beautiful.
Kewpie mayonnaise is an actual brand, but it's Japanese mayo. And there's a bunch of Japanese mayo brands out there, but this is Kewpie, and it's just hands down one of the best mayos, right? So you've got your mayo and ketchup. Now put them together, and you've got a burger sauce, right?
Yeah,
It's so simple. Then I brought. Did I bring? I did, yes.
He's like, no, I forgot it.
Mustard.
Mustard. Yep.
Right. What are your feelings on mustard?
I like mustard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a mustard boy.
Yep, yep. I kind of like everything. Hey, like I love my chili. I
Yeah.
love mustard. I love there's not much I don't really like. So let's go nuts today.
I think French's mustard is the
Yeah?
best. Yeah. I think it's just got the all-round American flavor, no artificial colors or preservatives. Brought to you by French's. So they're your kind of staples that most people have in their fridge. So from that, we can make a real quick burger sauce, right?
Let's do it.
So I'll just move this up
Yeah.
here.
What do we need to do? Do we need to move anything out?
No, man, I'm just going to create some space here, and I'm going to show you real quick how to make a burger sauce.
You almost need a bigger coffee table.
So, equal parts. Oh shit! This is so fresh. I haven't
So
even cracked
fresh.
it.
Not even
How
cracked.
good is this? This is honestly one of the better full COVID styles. All right.
COVID
So-
styles.
Just licking the fingers. Don't have anything else to clean it with. So equal parts ketchup and mayo. We'll use traditional because that's what everybody has. And then however much you put in of the ketchup and the mayo,
Yep.
you put in half that with
Okay,
French's
so it's a half.
ketchup. With the
Half of the mustard.
half of the mustard.
Half
yeah.
of, as in half of what you put in of either of those.
Yeah, so the ratio is
Gone to the math.
two is to one, 1 is to 2.
Yeah.
So fuck that. Anyway, I just eyeball it, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
some fries on the floor. So then we just do a little swirly swirl.
Yeah, just mix it up.
Mix
and
it
you
up.
can mix it however you want.
This is
Shake it if you
basically
want.
your Big Mac sauce.
Yeah.
And this is like the staple for burger sauces. You're getting that nice color.
It even has the color, eh?
Yeah, man, that's
the
it.
color.
Now, you could take this like legendary status. From this is your basic, right? There goes the fries again. This is your basic. So you get out your cheeseburger. And we'll usually go at the top. Look at these cheeseburgers.
And so we got these cheeseburgers specific. Well, you got them specifically with no sauce.
Yeah. That's
We
right.
asked for no sauce because we wanted to
sauce it up.
do our own thing.
Yeah. So this is the burger sauce.
Yeah, nice.
Can we leave that?
Don't
like
worry
this?
if we make a mess. We can clean it up.
We'll clean it up.
We can clean it up later.
And then that's your burger sauce, right? So
Yep.
there you go, bro.
I'll give
Have
it-
a little
give it
have a
it a
little
little
tasty.
go.
Make sure you get the audio in as well.
Oh, yeah, let's see if we can.
Holy shit. And I'm just gonna like dip in with some fries. And that is your burger sauce.
Way better. Chewing on the mic. Way better than a normal cheeseburger. Because I mean, like a normal cheeseburger just has tomato and mustard. Is that right? Does it have mustard on it, or is it just tomato? Just tomato, I think, a cheeseburger.
Every burger joint changes.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
Oh,
different.
but I mean, like a Macca's one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because we've got to compare it to a Macca's burger. 'cause
That's
it's,
that's
you know,
exactly it.
We can't be comparing it to something gourmet from a, you know.
Fuck no. Like those gourmet
really good,
places
though.
have
We're gonna have
taken it
another
to a
bite.
whole new level. But that is simple as shit, right? So I'm gonna sauce mine up. Usually it's better done on the top, but these burgers have been sitting there for a little while, so I'm just gonna use the bottom.
Yeah.
But that is your most basic burger sauce, and everybody has these products at home to be able to make it. Now, if you want to take that burger sauce to the next level, you're just going to see the chopped up onions, which is fucking. This is a terrible example, by the way, McDonald's. That should be really good, but at home, chop up really finely dice up some onions, and really dice up some pickles. Throw it in the
pickles is
sauce and mix it through.
Because I've seen people do like a
up.
burger sauce where they put like some of the pickled juice. You know how you get the pickles in a jar, and they put some of the juice in from it. I've seen that before.
Yeah, that's a
And that gives a bit of that pickle flavor as well. You
that's
know?
a great trick, man. That is so good. I think I know now why people don't eat on podcasts.
Yeah, it's hard to talk. And it's like, yeah.
You got to go back and forth. So when it's my turn to take a bite and eat, you're doing the talking.
I got to talk.
And
Yeah.
then vice versa, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so I thought I can also show you with the chippies because that's real handy. So they're your staples. So now
Let's sauce it up. Let's get creative now.
let's take it to another level.
I love my chili too, so don't be
Right.
afraid to get any chili or spicy stuff in there. Like,
I brought some chili sauces. So usually the next level up, if you're a really basic normie, those are your sauces, right?
normie. Yeah.
But even some basic sauce normies have some sriracha in their
Sriracha.
arsenal. Sriracha. Then you've got El Yucateco, which is an awesome hot sauce.
Love it.
I love
Love
that
it.
shit.
Love it.
Right? And then
Which one is that?
that's just
Because they've got a few varieties. Hey, yeah, habanero.
Yeah, that's good. You need it to have some kick. The normal Yucateco, El Yucateco, it's too soft. You need to give a real good
There's
punch.
a spicier one though, isn't there?
Tabasco, one of
Tabasco's
the best
good,
ever, right? This shit's phenomenal. The Milkenny's Co. They actually still produce all of the hot sauce in the one plant, and they're still killing it. Like they make all the bottles from that one spot.
That one spot.
They go through all of the chilies themselves. They grow them themselves.
Yeah, sick.
Family-run business. I think they're up to their fifth generation.
Yeah.
Fifth generation of McIlhenny's.
Yeah.
McIlhenny's of Tabasco. They're up to their
Nice.
like fucking fuck.
Do you ever
fifth
make your
generation.
own sauces like from scratch at home? Do you
Yeah,
do you get into
I
that
do
as
do
well?
that. Yeah. But always have these because it's just so much
it's
quicker. You know?
easier. Yeah,
But yeah, to go through the effort of making your own sauce, it's
a bit of
you know,
a
you can
effort,
make
yeah.
your own ketchup. It's it's pretty simple. It's tomatoes, it's a whole bunch of herbs and spices, and brown sugar. Done, right?
Easy. Yep.
Anyway, those are the and then the next level of spiciness or hot sauces, chipotle sauce.
Yep.
Right. So this is how you
That
can make
smoky flavor, isn't it?
that smoky chipotle flavor. Mix that with your mayo, and you got chipotle mayo. Mix your sriracha with your mayo. You've got sriracha mayo.
Yeah.
You know, you got all your Nando's shit. and then you can kind of like spice it up with a bit of Tabasco because it's got a real good vinegary taste, right? So what you got to think about is think about all the different properties that each sauce has.
Yep.
Mayo doesn't have a lot of sweetness to it, so you add the sweetness with the ketchup, and the vinegar base is kind of coming out of the mustard or the hot sauces, and the heat too.
Yep.
And then I think that's kind of where I'm going with. Oh, and then last but not least, one of the staple hot sauces you should have. I'm basically showing you all the hot sauces you should have on file. You've got
if you like if you like spicy things, so like, some people.
So if you want to have
all
like
about it.
The basics hot sauces in the cupboard, you want to have your something like an El Yucateco or something really hot just by itself to smack you in the face.
Yeah.
And a Tabasco's more vinegary based and it's really good with everything.
Yep.
And a Sriracha's great for mixing and by itself too. It's more Thai based. Then you got to have your Frank's.
I love
Red
Frank's.
Hot, right?
Which one's that? Is that buffalo? Is it?
This is the buffalo sauce.
Yeah.
The classic Frank's Red Hot sauce is pretty much the normal.
Yeah.
They've just started labeling it Wings Buffalo because everybody uses it for Wings Buffalo.
Okay. Yeah.
But Red Hot Frank's sauce.
Because it's good on the heaps of stuff too.
Everything by itself,
yeah,
man. It's
I love
great.
it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, this is the stuff that you mix basically to make buffalo hot wings. You mix this with hot melted butter. And then pour it into over your freshly fried wings. Toss it through, serve it up. That's buffalo sauce.
So with butter,
yeah,
that's what it is.
That's what makes it so special.
Yeah, cool.
A lot of people just put on.
I'm learning.
Yeah. A lot of people just put on red hot Frank's sauce. By itself,
or something like that. Yeah.
Oh man, it's
too
just
much.
not the same.
Yeah, not the
Too
same.
much,
Yeah,
it's not the same. But no, you got to dull the vinegary hot flavor with a bit of hot butter.
Yeah, nice.
And a bit of oil. Sometimes people throw it around. So. We've got they're your sort of hot sauce staples, I believe.
Yep.
Hit the comments. Let me know your favorite hot sauce.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I would love to learn about more. There's amazing hot sauces available. Check out Hot Ones.
Yeah.
Which is the show done by First We Feast.
Okay.
And it's a show where they interview famous people, celebrities, sports stars, and everything.
Yeah.
And each question. They eat a hot wing with hot sauce, and it gets progressively hotter.
Okay, I think I've heard of this one. Yeah.
By the end, they're eating their Pepper X sauce, which is like the hottest chili in the world. They manufactured that chili, they made it. It was so fucking hot. But there's some awesome staples in there, and lots of good sauces to choose. But I feel like these are like the base sort of sauces, and you can get these all at supermarkets.
Yeah, right? They're not like some weird one that you got to order on the internet or something.
Right.
I do have this one sauce, this chili sauce that my cousin got from me in America, and it actually comes in a grenade, and it's in a little tube, and it's so hot. You need like a little tiny pea size bit of it in anything.
Yep.
And it's like just knock your socks off. It's got like Carolina Reaper in it and stuff like that.
Holy shit!
It's like mental, man.
Yeah,
like,
you got your Reaper's like your hottest sauce around. So. But that's the beauty. Once you get to know your hot sauces, because Sriracha's got some sugar in it, if you can balance the Sriracha with the Frank's hot sauce, and you've got this fucking awesome
because the
dulled
Frank's
down version.
Is that kind of like like you said, it's a bit vinegary almost. It's got a bit of that vinegar flavor in it.
See that slight change?
Yep.
That's for everybody that's not watching the video. I just mixed a bit of Sriracha with Frank's hot sauce. It gives it a little more kick, and then the sweetness of the Sriracha kind of dulls down the vinegariness of
and it's
Frank's.
Yeah, it's sort of
You've just made a whole new hot sauce, Yeah,
it's nice.
So if you've got these staples, you can kind of put anything together. All right, so the next sort of step is kind of getting away from these sort of things, and we're going to go a little bit more barbecue.
Here we go.
Now,
Nice.
This is one of my staples, right?
Yep.
The hickory brown sugar sweet baby rays
is
like the best.
for like ribs and stuff like that as well.
Love
like,
it, man. It's so fucking
really good.
tasty. It's real good, right?
Yeah.
Then, if you want to kind of go gourmet, my hands down the best, one of the best barbecue sauces in Australia is by some local dudes, called them Barbecue Mafia.
Yep.
And they do this.
Love the name.
They do this barbecue sauce called Mobster. All right.
Awesome.
So this is
sick.
Mobster, and it's available from their website and shit. They're legendary dudes. I learned to barbecue with those guys when I was like hectic into my slow and low barbecue cooking back in the early millennium and early 2010s actually. And yeah, this is one of their best. They make one of the best ketchups as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
nice.
phenomenal. Check out that.
So what makes it different? Like, obviously, this one's a bit thicker, and this is more of a runny
Yeah, I did.
sort of sauce. So what makes this like? Why is this like a thin, I suppose, sauce? Like it's a liquid more than a. I mean, they're both liquids, but this one's thicker. Like, what's the difference there, and how do you use them differently then?
Sugar content is one
Yep.
because sugar caramelizes it,
Smell
makes it
this.
thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, smell it. And then smell it.
Yeah.
For all the podcasters,
Yeah.
smell this. I'm going to smell it.
Really peppery.
Yeah, man. Peppery,
Yeah.
smoky.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. Sweet hickory.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's not as
Yeah.
much sweetness in that barbecue
Yep.
sauce, but they make a range of barbecue sauces. So if you prefer it a bit more vinegary,
Yeah.
there's a lot of slow and low cooking loves of vinegar because a lot of the barbecue has been already cooked with
Yeah.
sugars and spices
Yeah.
and stuff
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
So if they need to
Complements it.
they want a barbecue sauce that's a bit vinegary but still a sweet ketchupy tomato taste
Yeah.
and base to it. The reason why it's thicker is usually Sweet Baby Ray's has got a few more little.
I'm gonna do what you did too.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it looked good.
Dip your burger in. Oh, nice duck, and yeah, it's got a few more elements in the Sweet Baby Ray's to make it thicker, so it
Yeah.
could withstand longer on the shelf life. This Mobster's barbecue mafia sauce, it's not made to last forever.
Yeah.
It's you put it in the
So you gotta
fridge.
use-
It's
not-
got less preservatives,
preservatives
and
stuff, yeah.
emulsifiers and corn syrups and stuff because it's it's a different style of barbecue sauce.
Yeah, yeah.
So you've got your really power packed, flavor packed, sort of like thinner.
So would you
low and-
use
low
that and
and low and slow?
you'd mix that with maybe some other stuff
You could.
in the like for your sauce?
You could easily just drop that burger sauce we made earlier.
Yeah.
You could drop the tiniest little bit. Just a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
teaspoon,
There we go. Yeah,
little
perfect.
teaspoon. And
Awesome.
now
I'm going to try that with some chips.
exactly right. And now we can kind of get back to this base burger sauce we had. It darkens it up, but it's going to add like a smoky barbecue kind
Barbecue
of flavor
flavour,
to it.
yeah.
Yeah, man. But not too much. It's crazy the balance, right? All right. Thinking of that. Running out of space. I'll put these in here. How good, right?
Really good. That's awesome.
Oh no.
So easy to like just spice something up. Like you said, still eating. It's all like basic sauces you can have at home, and then you just add that one little element, and it's just like makes it pop.
Dude,
Just gives it that little bit of a difference.
Yeah,
it's
takes it
it's
in
one thing,
whole nother direction. So we're gonna run out of space real fast here, but that's all good.
I can make a little bit of room. Let's move some of these over.
Yeah, we can move these ones out of the way, and I'll put some more of the actual these ones in here because I'm going to use them to make up some sauce.
We got plenty of room here. We didn't really plan this out. We just said we'll do it.
I just went, yep.
He's like, oh yeah. I said, Leah, let's come back and do another one, and let's do something a bit more like cooking based, with food and stuff like that. And yeah, you suggested sauces because I suppose everyone's at home. And they maybe, just want to make something a little bit different for, everyone's eating like it's Christmas at the moment. So.
Oh man, isn't it just, man? With this, with all this isolation, you're dealing with what you've got in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Especially at the start of isolation when you couldn't go shopping or they were sort of putting on heavy restrictions.
Yeah.
You had to kind of get creative. This is just kind of another way of doing that. But we can go out now and buy your own stuff. But this is about like getting creative with what you've got in the fridge, rather than you don't have to buy the sriracha mayo from the supermarket.
Yeah.
Buy mayo
That
and
is
sriracha.
good though. I only found that
It is
recently.
really good.
I only found that
But buy
recently
your-
and it is good.
Buy your mayo and your sriracha separately, so then you've got mayo to use when you want just mayo and sriracha when you just want sriracha, but then you can put them together.
Yeah.
Rather
course,
than
yeah.
when you have sriracha mayo, you're like, oh shit, I can only have sriracha mayo.
Yeah. It's pretty
So
good though.
having all of this, yeah, I bet it would be. I always mix those two together anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
mayonnaise and sriracha. So yeah, man.
Probably cheaper to buy it individually too.
In the long run,
Yeah.
because it depends on how much sriracha mayo. It sounds like you lose a lot of it.
Man, I was smashing it because I hadn't found it before, and I've done that. Like I used to always do that.
Yeah.
I used to mix my sriracha and my mayo because I loved that flavor, and then I found it, at the shops, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Just like even on like dumplings and stuff. Like you know, dumplings usually you'd use you'd use like a soy or something like that. But
And they have those sweet mayos.
yeah,
You know, those
exactly.
really sweet mayos for salt and pepper squid, or for the
Yes, yeah, exactly.
or they offer them for your combination, you know, little pork dumplings, those little deep fried footballs.
Yeah,
The best.
yeah.
Not one yum cha place calls them the same. They're always a
Yeah,
different name.
we've got a different
Those
name.
things.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
But man, like, what's like some of your favorite sauce? We'll go off the sriracha mayo.
Oh yeah, well, love like sriracha mayo, and there's actually this Asian one that I really love. I think it's a sesame seed sauce.
Okay.
Really sweet, creamy, sesame seed flavor. But yeah, that's one that I love as well. But it just depends what it is, man. Like I
Let's
said,
go off that.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go on to
Let's see.
the
This is the
phase 3.
yeah. Okay.
So
this
phase
is
1 was your staples.
Yep.
Phase 1 was ketchup, mustard, mayo, 2 kinds of mayo.
Yep.
Stage 2 was your hot sauces, your sriracha, your red hot franks, Tabasco, and El Yucateco and Chipotle.
Yep.
4th was your barbecue sauces.
Yeah.
And then 5th, okay, so we're up to our 5th.
Fifth.
5th is
Level 5.
Yeah, level 5. As you mentioned, sesame.
I'm gonna crack another beer too.
Sesame oil.
We didn't plan this either. I just said that. It's like, I just happen to have sesame oil here.
Well, it just so happens that sesame oil, I think, is something that really changes all of those sort of things. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you only need one ingredient to really take it to that, like 17 other possibilities rather than just the one, right? So, sesame oil is a great addition to all of these little sauces.
Yeah.
So we can then build on that barbecue burger
we go.
sauce.
We're getting.
Like just a tiny little, just a couple.
This
of
is
dabs.
fusion at its finest.
Couple of little dabs. Now we'll get out a chip.
Yeah.
Let's get like a little stronger chip, and we'll mix that around.
Yeah.
Right, and that is just going to completely change the flavor.
And it also it gives it that glisten to it. It looks shiny now.
Yeah, once you stir it around and
The oil,
emulsify
yeah.
it. Right. Oh. And that takes it into that whole new realm. You've gone 3 fingers deep in that one. That's great. Yeah.
Yum.
I think that's definitely one of the really sort of exciting things about watching cooking shows, and that people enjoy watching. Why people enjoy watching cooking shows is for other people's techniques. It's a real voyeurism
yeah.
sort of thing.
Well, I
how
like
are
to
you
have-
cutting it? How are you
I-
eating your chips?
I
you
want
know?
like a proper mouthful of it. You know, I don't want one chip. Like I want a full not a meal, but I want to taste. You know, full flavor there.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
You don't want this little prissy little one chip
Yeah,
kind
don't
of
hold back,
dip.
mate.
It's like those people. I've seen those people when I've said to them, "Here, taste this sauce," and they've kind of just dipped the
tiniest
tip
bit,
of, or they grab their fork and they just dip the tip of the fork, and they're like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "There's no way you tasted everything."
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You can't sit there
Unless
and
it's
tell me
like, unless
the
you
flavor
tell me
profile.
it's like super hot, then I'll be like, I'll just have a little taste to start with because I know hot sauces and sometimes they're dangerous.
They can sneak up on
They
you,
can
man.
be real
They can sneak up
dangerous.
on you.
Yeah.
So back to the stage 5. Stage 5 for me is just a few little added kind of crazy bits and pieces that you can add, right? So the sesame oil, we've got the honey. Everyone's got honey.
Yep.
That's a great sweet adder, especially if you've used lots more hot sauce. Like if you're making a hot sauce combo and you just need that sweet balance.
Because sometimes it's real, like you said, vinegary and
Honey.
Yeah.
Then
And so honey over sugars and other kind of sweeteners. you
yeah,
reckon?
I'd prefer to use honey, but it
Is
does
it for
have
the
a real
flavor
honey.
or is
Yeah, it's for the flavor, really.
Yeah.
Flavor and sweetness, whereas sugar is just a straight sugar,
Yeah.
just for sweetness.
Yeah.
You're not really getting much flavor from the sugar. You're getting the
Yeah, yeah.
sweetness, whereas honey gives you flavor and sweetness.
Perfect.
Then we've got soy.
Yeah.
Everyone's got soy, right? So
Shitloads of
when
sauce.
we head in towards the Asian sort of sauce section, right?
Yeah.
You got this.
I know all
right.
about this.
You got this. So we go into soy, fish sauce,
Yep.
sake.
Yep.
We go mirin.
See, now mirin's not something I've used a lot of before.
No, but
What's the flavor in mirin?
mirin is your it's a sweet cooking wine.
Okay, yeah.
So it sort of acts as a bit of the sugar
Okay. Yeah.
kind of content,
Nice.
right?
Yeah.
And the sake sort of acts as that sort of wine, bit of a slight vinegary
Yeah.
sort of thing. It's a really nice neutral flavor
Yeah.
that kind of like just cuts through all of the super fucking saltiness of the fish sauce and middle of the road
And the
soy,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then now everyone's got the soy, and
Yeah.
our soy can only go so far sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You got to have your Maggi or your Ayam.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is your seasoning. This is kind of like this is soy on crack, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is soy on crack. This is kind of what you just do as a dabby dab, splashy splash on things to sort of help.
Is it similar to a
explode.
dark soy?
This isn't. No. This
The
isn't an
extra dark soy?
umami bomb.
Okay. Yeah.
This
yeah.
is just flavor enhanced by
Flavor.
10,000.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is crack. This is
This is crack.
soy crack.
Soy crack.
And it's great. Whereas soy sauce, it's sort of a bit too kind of soy-y, if that makes sense. Whereas the seasoning, it's got a bunch of other little kind of like ingredients in it. It's not just
It's not
soy.
just soy. It's
got like lots of little bit of sugar in there, salt.
Yeah.
Sort of balances out with that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But that's the bomb. Then. And that's it. So they are 5 stages of sauces. Look at our fucking table.
The table's full of sauces. Yeah. Nice. I
I
love it.
fucking love it. All right, so
So what are we going to make then for the zingers?
all right. So the zinger burger, I was thinking of making something that
Because do they have sauce on them?
I think these ones do. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I forgot about.
But that's
that.
they just have a
Check it out.
mayo. That's just a mayo. So whatever sauce you make, I guess.
Actually,
We
no,
don't-
there's not. Oh, there's a tiny bit of mayo at the bottom.
So
right?
whatever you do, we'll just take that into account. We'll just put less mayo in if you were going to put mayo in already.
Yeah, yeah. So what I was thinking with
Let's
the
see. I'll help clean some space for you.
so the camera can see.
Yeah, we got to. They've seen the mayos. We can move it over here.
Well, I'll be using the mayo with this actually.
Okay.
I'm thinking it. Okay. So let's try and get a bit creative. First of all, I'm going to take a swig of beer because this is a beer with, not a fucking sauce, not a sauce with.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what are we going to do? So, I think like mayo works really well with fried chicken.
Yep.
But so does hot sauce. So does so does barbecue and
Everything. Chicken. Everything works with chicken, doesn't it?
Everything.
Everything works with chicken, doesn't it?
So what I thought we might do is what also works really well is a similar sort of style of. Sorry, I'm not talking into it. What
Yeah.
really works well is like a similar sort of like a what is it called? Kentucky sort of, not Kentucky. I've completely forgotten.
Mate, you're the chef.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to remember the name of the chicken. It's like a southern style fried chicken.
Okay,
right?
let's just go with that.
So,
it'll come to you later. You can tell
Nashville.
us.
It's like a Nashville, Tennessee
yeah,
style
yeah.
chicken, right? Usually it's lathered in oil and hot sauce and flavors like that, right?
Yep.
So what I thought we could do here is do a bit of a hot sauce styled flavor, but usually what helps make it hot and everything are some spices. Now, you can go to level 6 if you want, and that's adding dry ingredients.
Yeah.
So
I
brought some smoked paprika.
Yeah, nice.
Right. So what I thought we could do is, first of all, we'll grab the chicken and we'll just sort of sprinkle some hot paprika.
Yeah, don't remember fingers,
right? Just
We're gonna be here long enough in the same room.
Yeah.
If either of us have got it, we're both gonna have it by the
All
time
right, so
we leave.
just a little bit of smoked paprika onto the chicken first, and then we can make the base off that.
Yeah.
Right. So let's pop that out somewhere too with the chippies. So now we'll start building a bit of a base. We'll go Kewpie mayo.
Let's
Now,
make sure they
Kewpie-
can see what you're doing. I want everyone to see this as it's going. So let's move this out of the way a little bit.
Okay. All right. I'll need one of these for the mixer. This is good.
So I'm just looking on the. Yeah, they can see it on the camera here, and I can zoom in if we need to as well. So we'll make sure that works in. We'll fix it in post, as we say.
So we've got the mayo, and we're going to do a little bit of mirin.
Yep.
Just a little bit. It comes out real fast, so just a little
Yeah.
stavy. This is a bit of the sweetener, but
Can I smell that as well?
yeah, man. But you've also got to remember what viscosity all of these sauces are at.
Yeah, because that's the other thing you got to think about. You don't want it too runny or
Exactly, dude. So mirin's very runny, but it's also thick in flavor. So I'm going to do mirin, and for a bit of the thick sweetener, a bit of honey. Right? Just a little bit, a little dab. All right, so now we've got our neutral sort of mayo base with the Kewpie. We've got the sweetener from the honey and a bit of sweetener and sort of viscosity of that.
Yep.
So now, what's going to be a good little add is a hot sauce. Now, in this realm, you can't just grab any old hot sauces because of the flavors that we're going for.
This is level 7.
This is level 7.
Oh, you actually do have level 7?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's level 7, I guess, is just mixing all of these together.
Okay, I thought you were going to bring out another sauce from your bag.
So I think sriracha is going to be a really good kind of combo for this.
Yep.
Because all of the others are just a little too
Like vinegary, maybe.
vinegary and too viscosity wise. It's a bit kind
yeah.
of like thin. So we've already got a bit of thinness. So a bit of sriracha, and I think we're kind of like getting to the end of that. That's really, really good. Now we need one more little sort of thicker base to help this kind of like style sort of motor through.
Yep.
And that's a little bit of barbecue sauce.
I knew you were going to reach for the barbecue.
So that's going to add more sweetness, right? So we've got a lot of sweetness here, but we're just doing dabs.
That's fine.
Okay. So now let's get the other one and we'll mix this around.
Mix it. Get it in there.
Right, and I think this is going to be a really nice balance. We might need to add a little more hot sauce, but I think this might be a nice little balance for the chicken.
Yeah, good.
And then I reckon we kind of baste it on.
And are these zingers or are these...
These are zinger burgers?
Yeah,
for sure, because they're the crunchy ones, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have eaten breakfast. Should have just made myself real hungry. Sort of got here and just like been, oh, this is amazing. Like,
all right.
not that it's not amazing. It has been so good. So
we'll see how that goes. Now,
all right.
I'm gonna make.
So you're gonna do a different one or the same one?
One.
Yeah. Let's do that.
All right. So take the top off, and this one. I'm gonna make it a little more sort of like a hot saucy one. Bit of Frank's, so we get that buffalo chicken, Right.
Not spicy, really, hey?
Not too.
No.
And then we've got ketchup.
But yeah, you can sort of taste the kind of subtle some of the other flavors in there, like the mirin and stuff, and the barbecue. Even it doesn't taste like barbecue at all.
Oh, that's so
really.
No, it doesn't taste too barbecuey. Right?
Like the combination of them all like they're all there, but it's not like there's any one thing.
That's right.
It's like sort of overpowering. Yeah, love it.
So we've got here now. We've got more of a hot sauce based one.
Yep.
That is Frank's hot sauce. So you got like your. Sorry. Now we've got a little bit more of a hot sauce based one, and we've got the Frank's hot sauce. We've got chipotle. We've got ketchup, and that was about it. Yeah. So now that's real sort of like spicy / savory with the saltiness from everything else, right? So I'm gonna add a little dash of this.
There we go.
A little dash.
I want to smell that too.
Have a smell.
Yeah, nice.
My boy's going sniff crazy here. I love it.
Well, that's how you can
That's
how you can understand the flavor a bit more.
Mate,
sometimes
you got to use all your senses, right?
That's it.
Bit of the oil. Yeah. And that's your kind of like base now.
Yeah.
So we're going to use one of these guys. We'll avoid this. And now I'm just going to like mix it all through. Always good to have these little sauce combos together.
Yep.
And this is going to be like a bit of a Frank's hot sauce style thing, but it's not exactly buffalo wings sauce.
No, because you've got like soy flavors.
Because it's still a burger, right?
And sesame. Yeah.
We're just sort of mixing together burger sauces. All right, beautiful. And now we'll sort of...
And that's the thing I love about this is that it changes the... you can just make a burger of any kind and then you can just add these different sauces and these combinations and it makes it a totally different burger. Like, perfect. Easy.
Boom. All right. What I didn't bring is a knife to cut this with because you got to taste some of it too.
I do have a knife outside.
It's all good. I'm going to.
Yeah, just break it in half.
Rip it apart with my bare hands.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Let me try and... I'll just make sure I don't drop it.
Yeah. See how that?
I like that one better.
Mm.
Like, It's just I don't know. I like this one more. They're both good, but this one's better from my taste.
It's it balances because of that spiciness, that savory and saltiness, right? Now, chicken's actually got a bit of sweetness in the chicken. Using a thigh fillet with the zinger, it's really good, right? And I think that's how you can balance it out. Now, you can go crazy, guys. I'm sure at home you're thinking how like creative you can get with all the different sauces. Whenever you're thinking about like mixing sauces and putting all this shit together, you just need to remember the 5 elements of flavor and cooking, just like on my tattoo.
Yeah,
You've got the
I remember you told us about it last
the
time.
spiciness, the savory, the spiciness, the sour, the sweet, and the salt.
Yeah,
and pepper. That's it. And
Yeah.
if you guys can remember all of those as you're building the sauces, knowing which sauce does what,
yeah.
boom, the world is your sauce oyster. So yeah, there you have it.
Nice.
There's some sauces that you guys can crack on with at home using some of the basic ingredients and a few like specialty ones if you do have in your arsenal. But yeah,
But like you said, like something like just the sesame oil can change the whole flavor. So it's like you don't need to go if you've got the basics, you can just go and get one thing, and it'll change the total. Totally change the flavor of everything
totally,
else.
totally change the tone.
Yeah.
Of everything. So
So I want to know how you got so into this because, I love cooking as well, and I'm into cooking and stuff. But like, how did you? What you do, and I've seen some of the stuff you've been doing in isolation and on your show and that.
Yep.
It's that next level, like the ramen that you made, and spending
the ramen tacos.
Well,
Or
no,
the actual
no,
ramen?
the ramen that you
yeah.
made, yeah, because you spent like, you boiled the bones for,
Yeah,
or you washed
it's a
them,
3-day
and you did.
3-day process, man.
So like, that's not a normal person who's into cooking kind of thing.
No.
That's next level. So like, how did you get into that? Like, what?
It actually started with sauces.
Yeah.
When I was at home, when I was like in like early high school,
Yeah.
I loved experimenting with like ketchup and mayo and barbecue sauce and mixing all of these different flavors together and creating completely different flavor profiles. So understanding which were the sweet sauces, which were the savory sauces, which were the vinegary, salty sauces, and everything like that. I was able to build a flavor profile that I liked.
Yeah.
So that gave me a really good understanding. And I love mixing shit together because, like, as a DJ, I love all types of genres and I'm a fan of everything.
Yeah,
What did we
yeah.
talk about last time? You can't name just like one favorite genre or anything like that. You're a student of all genres and all kind of like stuff like that. There's not one that you hate. And basically, I got into all of my cooking based off mixing sauces together. Sauce. I had sauce swag in high school, and
Sauce swag. That sounds like a brand.
it should be right.
It should be a brand.
Sauce swag. I got into all of that, so that sort of built my idea of building flavors and putting layers together and to create something salty, something sweet, something spicy, whatever.
But there wasn't anyone, like any person in your life, like it's not like
My mum.
Your mum liked to cook and stuff.
My mum had she'd already been to a cordon bleu cooking school in France.
Okay,
and
well there you go. So
she,
that's sort of a bit
but she
of an
wasn't a
influence,
chef.
I suppose.
She just did that one course that helped give her an idea of like depth of flavor and how certain techniques are used in France. And then I would just watch her cook and we'd cook together.
Yeah.
And then I would add my flavors. I started developing an insane palate.
Yeah.
So I'd become the taster. She'd be like, okay, taste this. What do you think this needs more of? And I was like, oh, we need to balance it with this.
Yeah.
And, I essentially, I developed a God tongue.
God tongue.
And I
like
was
that.
able to just like pick things out and find out what it needed,
What it's missing.
So then I started experimenting with all those flavors and cooking, and I wanted to then learn more about where each flavor came from. Like, oh, I love sriracha. Where did it come from? Who made it? And how's ketchup made? So then I started breaking all the sauces down, and that sort of was a bit of a foray into this deeper knowledge and want to experiment with Japanese cooking with the ramen, to experiment with American style, low and slow barbecue cooking,
Yep.
which is also rich
I
in
love that
history
too.
with
Yeah.
Argentina, and it all
Okay.
started
Yep.
like from the Germans, really.
Yep.
A lot of the Germans were in America in the markets trying to sell the shitty, cheap cuts of meat,
Yep.
and they couldn't. So what they did was
Cook
they
them.
would cook them,
Yep.
and they would cook them down at the markets, and they would create this incredible barbecue because they had to smoke the shit out of them because they probably had some rank smell.
Yeah.
So by
Yeah.
smoking,
Yeah. Yeah.
hid that bad smell of that
Yeah.
cut of meat, and then it also broke down the fibers and
Yeah. Made it nice and tender.
all of the fats in the meat to be able to kind of make it tender because it was a really fucking tough cut, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how that sort of started, and then of course like the Chinese were smoking and
Opium.
making smoking opium.
Yeah.
Good finish. They were smoking opium and meat at the same time.
Yeah.
And so you had some
Because it's how you
opium.
preserved meat back in the day.
Yeah,
know,
opium
salting
meat.
and salt.
So yeah, dude, like that's exactly how you preserved it. You know, all of your jerkies and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was really interesting to me. So I found out a little bit that history. So whenever whenever I basically ate a meal that I really liked, I'm like, I got to find out how that made.
Yeah.
I got to find out how it's made, and then I want to attempt making it myself, just so I can understand it better. So when I ate it at a restaurant, I had a massive respect and understanding of that food itself.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I'm eating it there, like
Yeah.
that. I think that there is a profound level of respect that a lot of people need to earn, learn, sorry, to eat at restaurants and understand what chefs and restaurant owners
Yeah.
go through to create these amazing dishes for you.
Because some of them are artists. It's like
A
mixing.
lot
Like
of them are.
you're just talking about mixing.
It's
It's
such a
music, but
creative
the same.
field.
It definitely is, isn't it?
And that's why I fell in love with it, was because it had the exact same, no boundaries
Yep.
as music did. Music
Yep.
has no boundaries. Cooking has no boundaries.
Yep.
You can cook things without heat. You don't need a flame. You can cook things with air. You can cook things with water, sous vide them. There's just so many different ways you can cook
Yep.
things. You can not cook things. There are
Yeah.
things you can eat raw.
Yeah.
Just like with music, you don't have to have a beat behind it. It doesn't have to be relegated to just a synth line or anything. You can use two sticks. You can make music out of anything.
Yeah.
And that's why I think both of those things in the world, like there's just two things us humans, we can't really live without.
Yeah.
Even if we were to be stranded on a desert island, we couldn't have music. We'd make music ourselves
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
our mouth, with the
Coconut
earth,
shells,
earth around us.
sticks, rocks, all kinds of things.
That's right, man. And
Seed pods, shakers.
that's a good one. So they would create their own way, and I think that those two things, just that's why they go so hand in hand, and that's why I've found a really good understanding between both of them. They both, like, food's spoken to me because of the way that I loved music from such a young age, and eating wasn't just a necessity for me.
Yeah.
I know people that they just eat because they don't want to feel hungry anymore.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
so sorry for them.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you just don't
There's more to it
understand,
than that. Yeah.
But they might find the enjoyment and love that I have in food in something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
like,
fine. Yeah. Yeah.
have a think about like some of the stuff that you have a passion for
Yeah.
outside of music and food.
Yeah.
And that might be something really different and unique to anybody else. But they'll look at that and go, I don't get it. Why do you love that so much? And you're like, oh, you don't get it.
Yeah.
You gotta
Don't
and then-
understand, bro.
Yeah. But then you'll find someone that does get it, and you can then like just chat to
Yeah.
them for ages,
Yeah. Yeah.
And that might be a really kind of popular or obvious thing, but people haven't found the intricate details of it yet,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why everybody has their own thing that they're into. So you
Yeah.
can never be sort of, you should never judge someone for something that they like or find the enjoyment of.
Yeah.
Because they might feel the exact same way about you and what you like and find enjoyment in. If it's something really kind of like simple, like food.
Yeah.
It's something that, like, I think everybody, us as a whole earthling society, need to kind of be a little bit more humble and have humility for, especially because we've got so many unique people in the world that like different things, and they always get shut down or they get kind of frowned upon because it's not the norm or something. But what is norm?
Yeah.
Like, what is a standard or kind of like something that everybody should adhere to or do not. It's just like, man, fucking just find some shit that you like doing
And do it.
and try and make a living out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
exactly.
we are in a day and age where right now we can make an absolute killing. We can
Yeah.
make a living from doing something crazy. There are
Yeah.
people on YouTube making livings from eating in front of the mukbang.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're eating
yeah,
in
I've
front
seen
of
that,
eating
yeah.
channels. That's it. They're like, look how far video games have come.
Yeah.
Remember when we were kids and our parents was like, "You're never gonna like, video games aren't gonna help with anything. They're not gonna do anything. You're just having fun."
Yeah.
And now look, there's people that are
Making
winning $10 million
billions. Yeah.
video game competitions,
And then there's people who just play video games and
and they're
Film
making
themselves,
$1,000 a day.
and they're making bulk money on it,
Yeah.
just from people watching them play
People
the
just
games,
watching it, man. That's fucking insane. And it's great too. I love it.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm trying to make a living out of like cooking and DJing at the same
Yeah.
time. Like, that's fucking crazy. Come on, but that's
You know what
the
I love
beauty of it
about
too.
that though? Because like we talked about it last time in the last episode, that like the music sort of is something that's been influenced from your dad,
Uh-huh.
because with the radio and stuff,
Mhm.
and then you're talking about the cooking sort of, I suppose, influenced from your mum's side. So you've sort of you are the product of your parents, almost, but you've mixed it together, and that's what you're doing.
100%, dude. That's exactly what I am.
Yeah,
And I'm very proud of it because I love my mum and dad. They're my best friends.
yeah,
We talk all the day, all the day, all the time, every day.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud to be able to, develop some skills based off what they loved doing or did.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
You almost got me tearing up here.
Oh,
bro.
really?
No, that's awesome. I love that.
Stop it.
No, I love that.
That's what the power of food has for you.
Yeah, yeah. No,
If
that's
you
good.
taste something that's phenomenally, that touches your soul, that really kind of like just gives you a reminder of, your childhood or anything like that.
Yeah.
It can have a profound effect on you.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah.
And I want to be able to share that with people. I want to be able to share those beautiful moments and flavors with people. And I think
Yeah.
that's what most cooks and chefs want to do.
Yeah.
Because as a society, we love sharing. I
Mm.
mean,
That's what social media is, isn't it?
well,
Sharing.
this it is, yeah. And
You know?
what I want to sort of like, I want to touch on one subject before I get back to what I was just talking about.
Yeah.
How
Go for it.
us as a society, we love sharing, and especially considering the time of it is right now.
Yep.
The current times. What I loved when we first went into lockdown and isolation, the first people to jump on social media and share were chefs and DJs and artists and musicians.
Yeah.
They're the first people that jumped online.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do live streams and make videos sharing their recipes and their experiences with life and how some food meant what some food meant to them. They wanted to share recipes like, oh, here's how you do some pancakes, because you're going to be cooking at home right now. We're the first people that we're the first ones to lose our job.
Yeah.
We lost all our income,
Yeah.
and yet we were the first ones to jump online and want to share our knowledge. And same with music. Producers were doing production shows, and
Yeah.
you could tune in and listen to your favorite producers, like album and how he made like one of your favorite songs, all that sort of shit. It was fantastic. Yet I didn't see until later all of the lawyers and real estate agents and entrepreneurs and people like that doing videos to sort of help us through a difficult time.
Yeah.
Like I would have loved to see some accountants doing videos. Yes, they were busy doing the accounts because that had to be done.
They had to
But
do that. Yeah.
Even some people that knew about that doing a video that could have helped
Yeah.
some of us artists, and people that lost their jobs first.
Yeah.
Here's something you can do. Here's something that will help you save money. Here's something that will go directly online and do a little life audit. Cancel your Spotify.
Yeah.
Cancel your subscriptions. Cancel all of this and that. These ongoing payments that aren't going to say no. We're not going to charge you because of COVID. Cancel those and completely try and cut your outgoings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was more advice that needed, because I reckon there's a lot of people that probably have gotten already 2 months in. Maybe people listening to this podcast right now that are like, oh shit, maybe I should. I don't need to have that Spotify going.
Yeah.
You know, that was great on my commute to work and constantly making playlists.
But you still got
now it's changed.
Spotify, like the free Spotify.
You do, exactly. I cancelled
you
my
know.
Spotify subscription.
Yeah, yeah.
But in saying that, because I started producing more now at home, I started a Splice subscription.
Yeah, well, there, but that's productive.
Productive.
It's for something that you're doing. Yeah,
Exactly
yeah.
right.
So it's,
Where I didn't have the
important.
time before. So now I do, and now it's kind of like, okay, do a little bit of a life audit. So if you haven't already, guys, I suggest get your shit together and do a little life audit and try and get rid of all of the things that you don't really need right now.
Yeah.
Outgoings.
Yeah.
And then that's the first step. And then you can kind of start looking at, you know, what you can do to get those incomings, or how you can budget with all of the money you do have left over. And, you know, because some payments haven't started till now. I don't know when this podcast is going live, in about a week or something like that. Who
Maybe
knows?
Monday.
Maybe Monday.
We'll
Oh, let's
see.
just smash it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm trying to smash out a heap now because we just started it back.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to do a heap of them so that I've got them in the bank. I can just like sort of release them and stuff, and then
cool.
that way I can keep doing all the other things that I'm doing as well now, while still putting the podcast out.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
you know what I mean. So I'm trying to
like that, man.
make sure we've got
Yeah.
some in the bank ready in case things fall through.
So
or I
that's
get
you.
busy.
That's you
Yeah.
sharing. That's you wanting to share. Like, you know, before this, you were doing them, and that was great. But it's like, because of this current climate, you're like, you know what? I want to do more. I want to get more
I'm
out
doing
there,
way more, bro.
And-
So much more,
which
It's
is
like-
great. And
yeah.
it's developed a whole new, you know, realm
Yeah.
of possibilities for us artists.
Yeah.
And that's looking at the glass half full. You know, not looking at it empty and like, oh, I lost my job and, you know, I can't do anything. I'm just going to sit home and do nothing.
There's
It's just
so
like,
much
oh, man,
opportunity at the moment as
going.
well. Like, you know, because there used to be these gatekeepers almost, you know, like to play at a club, you know, there's someone in charge, you know, or someone owns the club or whatever it is. Now, that doesn't matter. None of that matters.
No.
So you can be anyone. And if you've got a creative idea and a good whatever it is, you can actually, you know, make a difference and get a following, and people will watch, because people can't go to a club on a Friday night. So what are they going to do? That maybe they'll tune into what you're doing. You know, if
6
if
o'clock.
it's 6 o'clock,
6
every
o'clock.
Friday, every
Friday night. That's twitch.tv/cutandcook.
So you've got it on Twitch now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Because I know you when you just started, it was
When
on
I
Instagram.
First started, I wanted it to be on Instagram because that's where I had most of my followers and most of my interaction. But the
It's only on mobile then mainly. Then.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
yeah, you can get a patch that allows you to watch it on a web browser, but it's a bit annoying. And you know, I had most of people, you know, doing it on Instagram, and Twitch I did want to connect with, but I was having trouble getting that set up. Now I've got that set up, and that's our main kind of outlet. So Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Instagram's going to be like it's a separate little, you know, vision. I wanted to have them all coming from the one vision, but
It's
you know,
tricky to
it
do.
was all zoomed in because it was an upright
You
portrait
might have
mode.
to talk to
So
Paul, who runs Frequencies. I
Yeah,
think he
cool.
knows how to do Instagram as well. He was
Yeah,
he was
he's
playing
flipped
with that a bit before COVID happened. So
yeah, well,
he
we
might be
did.
able to, figure that out.
We kind of figured out how to do that in OBS by changing the background size and be a portrait, and then we put the nice wide angle shot up top, and then down the bottom we did the close up.
Yeah.
But for people that watching on Twitch, then
It
seeing
looks
portrait
funny,
mode,
yeah.
where and people on Instagram,
Well,
are getting the
he's
full
all about
experience.
hacking into stuff and using
That's
different stuff.
awesome.
So you need to talk to that.
I need
guy
to have a
'cause
good
he's-
chat to him, man.
because back when Paul was doing live streaming initially,
Mm.
there wasn't all this cool software and stuff out. So he was like hacking into, or not hacking, but using software that wasn't designed for live streaming to use whatever, like screen capture stuff, to then use that on something that's playing what he's got playing through something. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was real bolted together experimental sort of stuff.
It
So
all
he's
is-
come from back then when it was like
Yeah.
that, and so he's right up to date with all
So
that
experimental, man. You know, I remember doing live feeds out the front of Calibre back in like, you know, early 2010s. And there was a guy that was setting all that shit up. There was heaps of people doing it. You know, you got the Frequency's been going for a while. There was I remember Jimmy Ellis and Shane Scarrett were doing you know, a bunch of you know, live streams and stuff ages ago as well. And there was a dude on the Gold Coast that was doing heaps. You know, I mean, that Gold Coast, not Gold Coast FM, CFM. What was the FM channel that did a whole bunch of radio shows? Radio Metro. They were doing live streams as well.
Yeah.
You know, back before it got crazy. But it's sort of our technology and our internet speeds. We couldn't handle it. America and Europe and Asia, they had heaps of fast speeds. They could do it.
Even now, Paul's like, I want faster speeds. He's
The internet still isn't fast enough. They fucked up the NBN
Yeah.
so hard.
Tell me about
and it is fucking insane. Like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, who was working on that shit?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
You know
Anyway.
what you can do though? This is one thing that Paul's told me and that I use as well sometimes. There's a VPN called Speedify, and you can actually merge connections. So you can actually use your NBN and your like phone hotspot tethered
What?
at the same time, and it'll use both to increase your speed. So
That's
at home,
hack.
when I use both, I can get over 100 megabit a second, and the NBN's only 100, 100 megabits. So I can actually get more than that by using both at the same time.
Damn.
So it's something to look into. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
That's
pretty
crazy.
pretty good. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like it'd be great to, because Paul's talked about, he's like, I'd love to be able to do 360 live stream, but the bandwidth's not there
No.
for Australia. It would just be so laggy, and the frame rate would have to be so
Yeah.
low.
Well, my
Wouldn't
show
work.
last week was laggy for the first 20 minutes of the fucking show. I was
Yeah.
just so pissed off. It was just like, I finally got the audio shit worked out and all this
Yeah.
other stuff. And then the first half of the show was laggy as fuck, you know.
Yeah.
But
Get that speedified. But then again, that's
Speedify.
another subscription thing that you've
well,
got
my
to pay
brother behind the scenes was kind of scrambling together to try and figure it out, and he ended up having to like slow a bunch of latency, change a bunch of settings in OBS, and then he got it working, and then the second half was fine. So he's at home right now, actually setting up for tonight's feed, and so that way when we're finished up, I can go home and we can do a little test live stream, and then make sure it's all spot on, because tonight's going to be
What are you making tonight?
chicken burgers.
Ah, that's right. You said that. Yeah,
Burgers,
okay.
fried chicken burgers. And
What
then
sauce are you gonna make?
you
can
multiple.
Okay, so you're gonna do a few.
The sauce that I'm going to make is going to be a vinegar, mayo, hot sauce base.
Yep.
That mixes with basically a slaw. I'm doing a mayo, hot sauce, and vinegar based slaw.
Yep.
And that's going to go on top of the fried chicken.
Yeah, nice.
I'm going to paint the fried chicken in oil, like a bit of a Kentucky, whatever, Nashville style.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, itchy nose.
Yeah.
Itchy nose, Sanshi Wu. I'm going to baste one of the chickens in a bit of a Nashville style kind of hot sauce.
Yep.
And that's like oil, smoked paprika, cayenne pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, all that shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I might do one of them, and then I'm going to do a straight plain fried chicken one with just the slaw, and you can do whatever sauce you want on top of it. But fried chicken burgers, man, they're a beast of their own. They're not.
Yeah.
You've got the cheeseburger, which I did last week.
Yep.
The cheeseburger one was great, and that's really simple. I kept it simple. But this one, I'm like, okay, there's multiple ways you can do a chicken burger. You can do a roast chicken burger, or you can do like a fried chicken burger.
Yeah.
And the sauces sort of change. You got your Nashville hot style chicken, which is that it's completely basted in that hot style sauce, like similar to sort of the one we did at the end.
Yeah.
And then you've got that other style chicken burger, which does the mayo based kind of like sauce on top, and it's got the pickles and the coleslaw as well.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a basic coleslaw, and that's gonna work with the Nashville and without the Nashville style, just plain kind of like fried chicken.
And so with this show, correct me if I'm wrong, but you put out like what you're making earlier in the week with the ingredients and things that you need. I know you were doing that initially. Yeah, you're still doing. You're doing
I
that
haven't
now?
done the ingredients. I think it's a bit too much. If people want to know the ingredients, I can set that up. But the show is kind
so
of taken
people
on
can
its
make
own
it at
little thing.
home. Wasn't that
Yeah.
the plan? Yeah, you can make it at home.
The first thing I did, like I wanted everyone to cook with me while I was cooking.
Yeah.
That's why I thought, let's do it at 6 o'clock. You can go out, get your ingredients, come home, and you can start cooking at the same time I do. Then I realized that some people aren't as quick as I am with the cooking, and I'm DJing at the same time. So now I've just turned it into a show. Just tune in and watch me. You can be eating whatever you want. Tune in.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's
but
all right, man.
do you then save that, like record it?
Yep.
And then put it up later.
Yeah, yeah.
So people could then go, oh, that looked awesome. I want to make that. And then later on, like next week or something, like during the week, they could go and actually rewatch
Yeah.
it and cook it, and then they could pause it if they need, or they can.
Well, I haven't because each stream has had its own issues with latency, audio delays.
You can just press record on OBS.
Yeah, but it records all of that latency and the issues that I had.
Yeah.
So basically, what I ended up doing, I will end up doing that. It's a great idea.
Just redo them.
So now
you know how to redo it. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can do it again.
I'll
like-
just do the episode again.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, do it again.
So I've just put basically I go in each time I've recorded one, I get the recording and I go in and edit it myself and do a bit of a 10-minute version of the half an hour show.
Yeah.
Or I'll do like a 1 minute, 2 minute version, as a bit of a
Man,
recap,
I reckon do the whole show again, put them up, and have a channel for that. Because like if people enjoyed it but couldn't cook along with you, they can do it later. Like,
Yeah.
I'd love to do that because
They can rewatch.
I do Friday knockoffs here on Friday, so I can't really like sit there and be at home cooking with you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do like that it's on Twitch and that now because we can actually maybe all of us watch it
Yeah.
and talk at the same time because
That's cool.
we do that sometimes. Like we watch stuff, we'll all be like, oh, let's all watch this. So we all put it on our screens, and then we sit there and talk like in the video chat as well.
Yeah.
So we can actually be
That's
watching
cool.
something. So we
Yeah.
watch like some of the streams, like someone and people will be on there and go, oh, I'm gonna go. I got to go DJ on Radio Metro's
Yep.
stream on Twitch, and so we'll all go, oh, sweet, we'll watch. So we all chuck it on. We all watch, and we're like, oh, it's like, oh, tune, like, oh, that's such a tune. Like I remember that from this back in the day.
Yeah. I think that's a really cool idea. The fact that you can watch something during a Zoom chat or during the thing.
Well,
What do you use?
Zoom, yeah.
Zoom, yeah.
Well, here's the other thing
cool.
then is like when I do the A Beer with Presents on Saturday, we have the Zoom room open as well. So
I saw that with Mickey and
with Mickey and Dippy.
that
So
was
they're
great.
out there, and because of COVID, it's perfect because you can only have certain numbers out there. So they're out there playing. We're watching it in here with a group of other people online, and then playing. And then Paul's got his live rig where he can bring the camera in as well
Yep.
and do it. So it's very meta. It's very like sort of. But it's
No, but
it's
that's
so
good.
fun.
That sort of
because
just brings up a good point about
it's
you know,
interactive.
yeah.
It's
having people involved as well as people can watch at home.
Yeah.
People love watching other people being involved with something like that, and that's why I'm going to move my show to a live studio audience.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have when more restrictions are lifted, I'm going to have friends come over, and I'm going to be cooking and DJing while they're having a little kind of dinner party, like just having some drinks and chatting amongst themselves or whatever, and enjoying the show.
Yeah.
And then when I've finished cooking, that's dinner.
And they can all eat.
They can
and
all
you
eat.
get the audience reaction, or, your friends' reaction.
Everyone can
and-
join in. So a bit kind of like boiler room styles. They'll be behind me having their drinks and chat and,
Yeah.
and enjoying the music and waiting for me to finish
I've,
cooking.
I've got
So-
an idea here. When you start doing that,
Mhm.
I'm going to come over.
Yep.
I'll do the Friday knockoffs as well
Sounds great. Man.
while we're there.
Let's do it.
So we'll have Friday knockoffs and the live audience all watching at the same time.
Damn, that's some fucking live stream.
Yeah,
live stream inception right there, man.
We'll get it sorted. That'll be great, man. I'd love to do that.
I
Yeah.
love that idea, man. All right,
That'd
cool.
be great.
That's good. That's good.
Collaborations. There
Well,
you go.
I've got I got some fun shows coming up. This one's burgers.
Yeah.
I'm basically doing 3 episodes per dish.
Yeah.
So I did, of course, I did 3 taco episodes, a bit of a traditional, a bit of a mishmash, and then something crazy. This one I'm doing for burgers.
Yeah.
I've done the cheeseburger. I'm doing chicken tonight. I feel like chicken tonight.
Yeah.
Fuck, we're lame. So, and then I've got, then next week I'm doing veggie burgers.
Yeah.
So they're the 3
nice.
burgers that
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
be doing. And then after that, I'm going to be doing pizzas.
Yeah. So it's all stuff
so
people can make at home too. It's
all
not
stuff people
It's
can
not
make at home.
something like it's
Pizza's
not,
going to be a bit difficult because you need this special pizza oven that I've got. But
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the same time, they can still make it in their oven.
yeah,
Get a hot pizza
It's not going to be
stone.
exactly the same.
There's a way that you can
pizza
hack.
stones are good.
Yeah,
Like
they're great.
I
They're
rate
great.
pizza stones, man.
Great. If
Yeah.
you've only got that oven, man, that's all you fucking need. And
Gets that
they're
crispy base. Yeah.
there's a bit of a oven hack that I'm going to share with everyone.
Okay, good,
That you
good.
can basically hack your oven to become even hotter than the 220 that it lets you get to.
Yeah.
So
Ours goes to 250
yeah,
at home.
boom! Look at you.
Yeah.
What
Mad
up?
flex.
Yeah.
Mad oven flex.
Mad oven flex right there. Like, yeah, I'm fucking full lit,
Yeah.
250-degree lit. Yeah, there's a way that you can hack it so you can get up to like 300.
Yeah,
Because
nice.
you're cooking Neapolitan sort of style pizzas like at 450,
Yeah.
500 degrees, and this Grozny
That's the
pizza
thing
cooker
people
that
don't
I've got,
understand about pizzas. It's like
you need that fucking ripping hot, man.
high temperature, real quick, right? That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah.
should how you should cook it.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Super high, real quick.
Unless you want to do something like a little bit more of a pizza pie, like a Chicago-based sort of
Yeah.
pizza pie,
Yeah.
then you're doing deep dish. Then it's more of a kind of an Italian focaccia.
But who
really.
does that at home? You know, like
Not
the
many
normal
people, no.
person,
Yeah.
the normal run-of-the-mill person.
Most people just buy some fucking pita bread, or they buy like a one of those
Base.
wraps, and
Yeah,
they
or a-
just
yeah,
cook
wrap,
it, throw
yeah.
it in the oven for a bit, and take it out. It's real quick. And they're great. You know, if you've got some good ingredients, you can have a fun pizza night. But I'm talking about like just a few little hacks to take it to that next level, and
Yeah.
you'll thank me for it, man. It's just going to be like, this is what's up.
Yeah.
Like, this is how
Yeah,
it's meant to be
nice.
done. But that's later. So for
We're
starters,
getting ahead of ourselves.
getting
here.
ahead of ourselves. So, and then after pizza, there's a few more. But for now, I'm doing fried chicken burgers tonight. And then next week, I'm going to be doing veggie burgers. And yeah, so when we can get those people coming through, man, that's going to be great. Come over,
Yeah.
maybe during one of the pizza ones.
Yeah,
Might get you
that
over
sounds fun.
And yeah, and we'll get all get all the Zooms working.
Yeah,
And,
I'll bring
we'll
some
do a
extra
party.
cameras too. We'll have multiple. We can have
Holy
like
shit.
we can have like an audience cam or something as well.
Audience cam would be dope.
Put that in. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm taking it to the next level, you know,
Yeah, cool.
because ultimately when all these things are lifted, all these restrictions are lifted,
Yeah.
I'm going to take this show live out into a venue. So then
Yeah.
people can come in and they
Well, I
can
mean,
watch
you
the
used
show.
to do. Well, you still do this. You know, like the cut and cook. You've been
It's
doing
just
it
we've
for
got
years, but I suppose it's
restrictions
a
at the
great.
moment, yeah.
It's a great opportunity to get more eyes on it
Yes.
because there's, you know, it's kind of nichey.
Yeah.
You
very
know,
niche.
like, you know, it's
I need
like
to develop a whole new set of you know, audience members, a
Yeah.
whole new set of people watching to be able to understand what it's about. And I think this is my opportunity time for people to watch and actually get it. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, now I get it. Because remember last time I was talking to you, I was telling you like,
Yeah.
I'd tell people what I do and they'd be like, what the fuck? I don't get it.
But I'm
Now-
finding that too.
Now they do get it.
You know, like
Now
with
they're
what I'm
understanding.
doing, people don't get it. It's like, what do you mean? Like it's a video chat, but it's a live stream of DJs, and it's like, well, we're all watching the stream, but we're also hanging out in a video. Like, you know, people don't get that, and it's like when new
That's the
things
new
come.
world that
it's-
we're in, man.
Yeah, it takes time for people to catch on, and like I've had people who have come in and gone, well, what is this? And then like they've like messaged me the next day and just gone, man, that was so awesome.
Yeah.
like that was
Dude, what
sick.
you're
like,
I'll give you props, man. I'll piss in your pocket for a bit. What you're doing some really, really cool, and it's connecting people, and it's
that's what I'm trying to do, man.
it
Keep
means
the
a lot.
community together, the dance music community and everything in Brisbane,
it's really important,
and
man.
that, you know, keep them together.
We're a really small community, and something like this can, if we're not careful, really divide us.
Yeah.
And as long as we stay together,
I think
and
it's going to do the opposite.
we keep it like really, you know, really tight knit, and we support
Yeah.
each other, and we're not judging, and we're not kind of like, you know, really opening up to what everybody does. Just like
Yeah.
I was saying before, everybody's got something different they're into, you know,
Yeah.
and it's about just having that humility to go, you know what, I'm not into it, but he is or
Mm.
she is, and you know, they love that shit because of what it means to them.
Yeah.
It doesn't really mean anything to me.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of be appreciative and sensitive to that fact. Some people are just so quick to kind of go, "Nah, I hate it.
Yeah.
It sucks." It doesn't necessarily suck just because you don't like it.
Mm.
But having that kind of like ability to sort of, you know, discuss it together, but at the same time, you can razz on motherfuckers. You can sort of have a joke around and be like, "Oh, this is fucking stupid" or whatever. But you know, I get it. It's all good, because that's what we do as a society too. We love razzing each other.
Yeah, we love having a
and
bit
you
of a
can't be
laugh.
too serious.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta be able to take the piss out of yourself,
Yeah.
and that's also what makes us so Australian. Like if there's any
Yeah,
type of
yeah.
Australian culture, it is taking the piss, and you know, taking the piss and drinking it.
Well, who's gonna, you know, who's gonna take the piss out of you if your mates can't?
Yeah, exactly right.
You know what I mean? You got to be able
Dude,
to take the piss out of your
100%.
mates. You know, like
100%, man.
Yeah.
If you can't handle your mates taking the piss out of you, then you're
You're
not
in
going to get
trouble.
very far, man.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
so many angry and you know, ugly people out there that are just ready to attack and pounce and give you shit. So You know, if you can handle that, then you'll be able to, you know, do it out in the wide open world, and don't look at those YouTube comments. Don't look
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
shit.
Don't look at them.
You know, like I watched a really interesting documentary on John Candy
Yep.
the other night, and he is a amazing dude. God rest his soul. You know, cheers to John Candy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it talked about all these movies, you know, The Great Outdoors, Uncle Buck, you know, Planes, Trains, Automobiles. And, you know, as much as a big larrikin he was very sensitive.
Yeah.
And he used to read reviews,
Yeah.
and he used to get so depressed.
Yeah.
And he'd get so upset, and a lot of people didn't realize the effect it had on him, and it affected his life, his personal life. But he was just an average dude that still fucking had to take the kitty litter out at night.
Yeah.
He still had to, you know, do the plumbing at home and water the garden and whatnot. And he was such a lovable kind of like dude, and he was really sensitive to that too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so it does have an effect on someone. So the best way to get around that is just not read the comments and not get involved in that, especially if you're releasing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Or you're really putting yourself out there. You've got to, you know.
It's all right to read the comments, but just don't let them get to you.
That's true. Yeah. So
Because like you do want to, you know, because there's people that are going to.
Well, it depends on what you're doing.
People are going to say good things too,
Yeah,
and you want to
true.
maybe engage with them and talk to them.
You do, but
and, you know,
it's those other people that have ruined it for those good people.
yeah,
You know, like I'm not going to get. I might make a comment on someone's video and give positive feedback, or not even feedback, just a positive comment.
Yeah.
And I'm not expecting a response from the person that made the video, because I understand that they might not go into the comments because of the other people that have ruined it. So if you go into the comments to dig on something, dig up a good comment, you're probably gonna scroll through about 16, you know, bad comments, negative things, and it's just like it's too much, man. So unless you can develop that thick skin and you can kind of like just brush it off and be like, whatever, I don't fucking care, and you know, get to those good comments, then good. Otherwise, if you can't, just don't read them. You know, simple.
Depends how big you are. But the other thing is, I've just been reading or listening to Superfans by Pat Flynn, which is an amazing book.
Interesting.
You should definitely.
Okay.
It's been recommended to me by like so many people, and I've listened to it twice on audiobook.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, it talks about making super fans who are like, you know, super fans, like love everything you do. The thing is, if you develop enough super fans, they will go and fight your battles for you in the comments.
Straight up.
You know
man.
what I mean? Like, if someone has something negative, they'll come in and be like, nah, like, you're a dick. Like, you know, and they'll have you back, and they'll like get in the comments and like do that. So it's interesting to see how some people manage that kind of a thing through their fans.
Dude,
like,
it's
but it's
so true. I've seen
you
that.
have to read that.
I've seen
you
that
have to read
firsthand.
that book or
Alright, cool.
listen to it. Like, it's like, I would recommend that to everyone. I've had so many people recommend it to me, and I love it. It's amazing.
Dope, man. Dope.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm probably going to listen to it a third time. It's so good. Yeah.
Hook me up.
There's so many good things in there. Yeah.
You know what just popped into my head
Yeah.
before was something that we didn't get to chat about last time, because
Yeah.
this has been a little bit of a part two, but it's kind of we created our own
Yeah,
beast.
we've gone. Well, the first one was kind of like more about music, and this is more about the other side.
It is. But
Which is good. I love that.
I did want to bring it back to the music, because I wanted to ask you about your music production.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to ask you about, like, you know, what was the first, you know, what was kind of the first thing that you heard or, you know, saw that made you want to get into producing the song and making the music,
Well, see, for
rather
me,
than
it
just say
wasn't.
the DJing it
Yeah.
or listening?
For me, it wasn't necessarily a specific song or a specific anything. It was more, I knew that was the next step. Like, I realized that, you know, and back when I started, there were big people who, you know, around the world who were massive, who were just DJs. They didn't produce. But I saw sort of a trend of that the bigger guys and the guys who were the biggest in the world produced as well. They weren't just DJs. So it wasn't really necessarily a specific song or time or thing that sort of, for me, was like, you know, that's what you want to do. But I've always, you know, I've done music my whole life. I've played trumpet, was a singer, like I've done all that. So, you know, so for me, it was like...
So you had a bit of musicology.
Yeah, I like music. I know music theory. I've done grade 8 on trumpet. I was in the state honors ensemble program. Like I've done a lot of stuff. I've played in anything, you know, that a trumpet's played in. I've played in it. Musicals, symphony orchestras, wind symphonies, brass bands,
So you got
marching bands, all
Yeah,
of that
you got some
stuff.
trumpet.
Yeah,
trumpet
yeah,
experience.
yeah. I haven't played in years, but like that was my background. So I was always into, being a musician as such. So production was sort of like just.
So if you ever blow
I
your
just
own
saw
horn,
it.
you're actually
I
blowing your
can
own
blow
horn,
my
yeah.
own horn. Actually, the only trumpet I have at the moment is my granddad's trumpet because he played trumpet. So I can blow my granddad's horn.
That does not sound. I don't think that's what the audio listeners.
Yeah. Well,
doesn't
whatever.
make sense to them, but that's awesome.
But yeah, so
Blow your
I've
granddad's
always
horn.
been in music and writing
Give him
was.
props.
So I sort of understood that writing and making your own music was the next step. DJ's fun. I see that as almost conducting two bands at once, but they're perfect bands.
Yeah.
They, that's the way I describe it to people who are more into live stuff, like maybe, classical or something.
Yep.
I'm like, imagine you're a conductor conducting a band, but you're conducting more than one band. You're conducting two bands, and they're perfect. They do everything perfect for you. And you can be like, oh, we want more of the low end from this band and just the top end from this band, and that's how you blend and you get those mash up all those things.
That's a really
Yeah.
unique way of looking at it, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
dig it.
So
I
that's
dig
how I
that.
look at DJing,
Yeah, I dig it.
and that's how I explain it to people who I've grown up with playing, music, and sort of like, this is what it's like, because they're like, oh, what's that like, because they're all, and I know people, in symphony orchestras now and that are like, classically trained and do all that kind of stuff, and so it's like, yeah, that's what it's like. It's like conducting two bands at once.
That's cool, man. I dig it.
So, but yeah, so it was just, I knew it was the next step. And I've been so into music my whole life. So it's like,
So it was the natural
it was
progression
natural
for you.
progression for me.
So like
yeah.
going from like you'd already been DJing for a bit, and you kind of then went, all right, man, I can see the natural progression of this, this trend and whatnot, and you already had that idea of you
Of
already had a
mixing the
good
two
idea.
things, yeah.
You already had a good idea of how music was made.
Yeah.
You knew
Definitely.
the different elements that were necessary.
Yeah.
So when
It wasn't just like DJing where it was like the one song. It's like, well, I know that you've got tubas do the low, and then you've got
totally.
trombone, then you've got trumpet, and
So did you
you've got all this,
So did you apply that to Ableton, or did you try something else? What was your first
Well-
what was your first DAW?
Yeah, Ableton was. Oh no, wait. If we're talking first DAW, when I was about 12, like when I was into music and
Yep.
stuff like that, when it was called Fruity Loops,
Yeah.
I used Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops, man, yeah.
And so that was the first one I ever
I think that was a
used.
Sony-based production company.
No, Fruity
Sony
Loops is still
bought-
around.
I thought
and
Sony
FL.
bought
No,
Fruity
Sony
Loops?
has Sony Acid Pro.
Yeah, I thought Fruity Loops
This
turned
one.
into Acid.
Oh, I
From my
don't know.
memory,
I,
I'm
I
sorry.
don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know because
I
that was
thought
when
it-
I was 12, and then I just went because I just thought it was a bit of fun. Like, oh, cool,
Yeah.
you can make a drum loop. Like, you can make these sounds. And so
That's
I just
cool,
just
man.
played with it then, and then
Yep.
actually moved on and did music. I think we used Cubase when I was in high school
Cubase
because
was good.
the beauty of Cubase
It was
is you
fucking
used to be
solid, man.
able to turn like MIDI and stuff into actually sheet music.
Yes.
So you could actually then because I was a musician.
That was so impressive.
Because I was a musician, that was more familiar to me. So it was like, oh, we can write this and make these sounds on the computer.
rather
and then
than
we
looking
can,
at the waveform.
yeah, and well, we can make the sounds and then we can transpose it to sheet music and we can play it.
Dope.
So that was the thing then. And then I think I sort of, when I was at uni, I stepped away from music for a bit. Then when I came down here, I met a guy who was doing like hip hop beats and he was using Reason.
Yep.
And Reason is so different and hard to get your head around. It's so
Yeah.
hard to write songs. It's easy to make loops and ideas and stuff, but to get your head around that is crazy. But so I got into Reason for a bit, and then eventually someone showed me Ableton, and that's when I was ready to take that next step in DJing. And I was like,
Yeah, man.
all right, Ableton's easy to use, it's user friendly.
So intuitive.
Yeah.
All of those other programs had their pros and cons.
yeah,
Ableton just really kind of simplified all of that shit, man. Reason was way too
Reason's
complicated.
because you have to even plug the instrument in. Like you have to press Alt. And it flips all the instruments, and you can see the back where all the plugs
you had
are.
your
And
patch-
you have to
your
drag
patch
the
panel.
cables in. It's like it's awesome because it lets you do almost anything, but it's
But
really
in saying
hard.
that, where that program came from, it came from a different mentality. It came
more
from
live.
it came from
Analog,
the
like people-
modular producer, the person that had the modular system you have up
Yeah.
there, and whatnot. It came from those people
Yeah.
that worked with racks, because back in
Yeah.
the 80s, you were dealing with racks and racks and racks
Yeah.
of production audio. You only had one piece of audio gear, like the MPC or SP1200, that could grab a sample from a record or from
Yeah.
a singer or something like that, and then you could kind of see the waveform and be
Yeah.
able to kind of like shorten it, fatten it, and
Yeah.
then chop it up and export it. So it was coming from a different sort of way of production. And the
Exactly.
newer
Yeah.
kids that were coming through needed to see that elongated audio waveform, because when DJs were recording their mixtapes, that's all they'd see is that one long waveform,
Yeah.
right? So I
It's
think
familiar.
yeah, I think Reason definitely was something good for an older generation of producers.
And
It
people
was,
coming from the live space.
and from the live
You know,
space,
like,
yeah, and and Fruity Loops played on that whole era of musicians that just loved fucking around with loops and little sort of
and FL's still
808s and
great
303s and
to
shit.
use.
Yeah,
It's still like,
still
I
a bit
always
of
think
fun,
it's
man.
just as good as Ableton. I think
yeah.
it's just what the way your
Is there a
brain
new
works.
version of Fruity Loops? Or something?
FL Studio. Now
Okay,
it's called,
FL
yeah.
Studio.
Oh yeah, it's just as good, and it's modern.
Why
It's
didn't I
got,
put two and two together? Of course, yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean. It used to be called Fruity Loops. Now it's FL Studio. So yeah, but yeah, it's just a different way of looking at it. But you can use Reason through Ableton, through Rewire. It's
That's what
set
I
up
did
to do that.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
because I was playing around with Reason and I was using it with my my buddy Sharif D, and we were making tracks in Reason. He was
Sharif, as in the sax player.
yes, yeah,
Oh, you know Sharif.
yeah.
Oh,
Man,
cool. Yeah.
I was in a band with him back in the day.
Shout out to Sharif. I
Shout
gotta
out
get
to
him on.
Sharif!
I've spoken to him about coming on the podcast, and he's keen. So we just got to organize it.
Oh, mate, just organizing something with him is like trying to choose the right paint at a paint shop. I tell you, he he was using Reason.
Yeah.
He was right into it, Reason and Cubase, and I was like using Ableton. And so to be able, the best way we were able to produce together was for me to get Reason, and I used Rewire, and we were able to make some quick things in Reason because he was on my computer and could just quickly do something, and I'd throw down ideas and get some good samples and patches and shit, and then we'd record it into Ableton, and then I could chop, paste, cut, produce.
Go nuts.
But then I got really good at Ableton, and then pretty much when he'd come over, he'd just bring his keyboard and his saxophone, and we'd set that up, and we'd record directly into Ableton, because that way I could manipulate the actual timing structure of everything and warp it and shit like that, and it just got way better and much stronger, and it was so much simpler to use because it had all its patches in there, it had whatnot. And then it got to a point where it was basically he just came over and I had a little MIDI controller, and then we'd use the patches and all of the VSTs in Ableton to get that first idea down, and then he could go home and have a bit of a listen. We'd almost be able to make a song within about 15-20 minutes. We'd tweak it a bit, another 20 minutes of tweaking it, and then actually export it as a little MP3, put it on his phone or his iPod, and then he could go home and just listen to it. And then he could find a better patch with his Juno 16 or his Yamaha or his Korg, and then find a better patch, and then be like, all right, I've got this fucking really dope loop now. I've got this nice sound. And so that's how we were able to sort of make some songs together, and we put together a little bit of an EP and an album which never got released because his own production took over, and our lives changed, and I moved to America, and so shit happened. But fuck, man, it was fun.
Life happened.
Life, man. Life. But it was fun, and he's we're still mates, and he's lifelong buddy.
You should get back into it.
Lifelong buddy.
Let's do some collabs, because I know he does stuff with Josh as Sax Drive.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, they do a lot of stuff together.
I love that shit, man.
But
that's so dope. That song Night something, not Night Drive, Night Call, Night something Night. It was such a good track, man. Or maybe it was the EP.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Night Drive, but it was so good. And really, really cool vibes, man. We were making really groovy, sexy music, like really groovy, sexy music.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool. But that was where I really cut my teeth on Ableton, and that was I think I was using Ableton 4 at the time, or upgraded to 5.
I started on Ableton in Ableton 8.
Yeah, right. So I was using 4 and 5. So 4 was the first, the free one I got, and then Ableton 5 is when I got to Ableton 5's when I got to like this new level of production. Ableton 5 had heaps of big changes in it. It was fucking dope as shit.
Yeah.
And then I just held out until Ableton 8 came out, and then I upgraded to that, and that was huge, man. That was a big upgrade. That was really, really good.
Yeah.
And now I'm on 9. I haven't gone to 10.
You haven't gone to 10, bro. Get to 10.
I'm
I'd give you my other copy, but it's on the studio computer.
Nah,
as
it's all
well,
good,
so,
man. Don't worry about it. Thank you.
10's cool. 10's cool.
10 does look very cool, but I feel as 9 still can like
you
do
can
everything.
still do all the same stuff. you
Yeah,
can do
so-
in 9. There's just some few little things that are cool that are in there that you can do.
Yeah, I bet. So I guess for me, man, I'll until I really get stuck back into it, because there's some changes happening right now that I'll be able to spend more time on the production side of things.
Well,
which
you
I'm really
said
looking
you
forward to.
mentioned that before
Yeah.
that you've been doing that. So what have you been doing? Like,
So
so have you just been tinkering around, or you're working on anything specific, or what?
yeah, I'm actually working on really sort of laid back chill hop.
Yeah, cool.
So
like that.
I'm going to be working on some really laid back chill hop with some very kind of like undertone scratching,
Yeah.
really sort of simple sort of turntablism
Yeah.
in there. And then I'm also working on just some glitch hop beats, because I love those sort of beats.
Yeah.
And producing anything that I really love. I'll see where it takes me. I'm not going to say too much, because I haven't really kind of locked into a groove or a sound that I really want right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm revisiting a whole bunch of old sounds.
Yep.
And
You're getting back into it. You're rediscovering.
yeah,
it
I've got to
almost,
rediscover
yeah.
it, kind of
Because you've
like
been doing
where I
other
wanna
stuff
take
for a
it.
while,
It's
with
so
your
long,
other
man.
ventures and stuff. and
Everything. So
now you've got time.
now I'm going to be able to, I'm coming into some more free time to be able to kind of like, execute,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of where it's at.
That's
So we
exciting,
got to talk
man.
about some production, which is good. I feel like episode 3 is going to have a whole
Yeah.
bunch of other good shit, because we kind of just let the sources take us in the
Yeah, it
direction
took us-
today.
Took us away.
Yeah, totally. Actually, like before we finish things up, all right. So we've got to talk about
And I do have one more food related thing to ask you and talk about later.
So let's ask that as I get this sauce prepared. Now, remember, out of
Okay.
all of the sauces, there's one sauce here that you can actually take a shot of.
Okay, yeah. Let's do it. So we're going to have a shot. I should have got shot glasses.
No, don't
Oh, you've got it. Oh, you've got it sorted.
sauce.
Here we go. He came prepared.
All right.
Oh, because it's sake. Yeah. Nice.
Sake.
Love it.
Itadakimasu. All right.
Love it.
So we can pour a nice big shot of sake.
With cold, not warmed.
No, this is
'Cause
cold.
You can
This
have
is
it
more of
warmed
a,
though.
yeah, you can have it warm. You can have it cold. It's great. Like, I love hot sake. I'll let you pick it up, and we'll silence the room. And see if
Cheers.
we can hear a tink.
That's quiet. Nice.
Beautiful. I love it. So
I want to know.
Yeah.
Have you seen? It's called Taco. Like, knowing that you love history of food and stuff. Have you seen the Taco Chronicles on Netflix?
I've heard about them. And
Amazing.
my friend keeps telling me to watch them. and
Amazing.
I haven't had a chance.
Amazing, because they look at each version of traditional taco.
Yeah.
Like the basket tacos, the people who make them in the morning and then ride around on it with the basket and sell them to people working. And then they
Yeah.
do the slow cooked ones that are overnight in the ground, like in a hungy almost. Like
Yeah,
a
yeah. Cool,
Mexican
cool.
hungy. Like each episode is on
Man,
different
yeah, I've
ones where
heard
they
all about
boil
them.
the meat in for hours, days in this like master stock and that kind of thing.
So you've just talked about those elements of cooking.
yeah,
that
I
you
love
can
cooking,
use-
bro.
You can use with all of your outside elements. That's the beauty of it. There's no rules.
You
There's
got to
no
watch
fucking
it.
way. of
Like
doing
I,
it.
I
Yeah.
watched the whole thing in one afternoon with Johnny one time
Sick.
because it was just like we were just like, oh man, like that's amazing. Like those, and it's the same. It's that envy of watching a cooking show. You're like, oh, that looks amazing. Like I want to
man.
taste that. Like, yeah. So that's my recommendation to you. Watch
All right, cool.
Taco Chronicles.
All right, I'll put it on the list. The list of things.
The list
to
of a
watch.
million things to
The
watch.
million. Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
many. There's so many really, really cool things that I want. I want to finish watching the new season of Ugly Delicious.
Yeah.
David Chang's thing. That's like really cool.
I've watched about halfway through the second
Oh,
season.
really? I've
Seen
only
the
watched
first
like
one.
2 episodes of the second
Yeah,
season,
yeah.
so I've got to get into it. But like at
Yeah,
the
I love
moment, The Last Dance is by the Chicago
I'm
Bulls
waiting.
documentary.
I'm waiting till
That's-
there's more out. Like, like
Oh, really? No, I'm watching them every week.
No,
It's great because
I want to be able to watch it all in one because I'm gonna get stuck in.
right,
Like I'll be like,
okay.
all right, next episode, next episode. So I'm sort of waiting.
Interesting.
How many are out now?
There's 8. There's 2
Well,
more.
that's probably close enough. So what? There's only 2 more.
There's 2 more. It goes to 10.
Oh, I'll start it now then.
Man, it's funny you say that whole kind of idea of watching a show because I believe we grew up with TV only letting you watch one show a week,
Exactly.
And so this only coming out and being released every week, 2 episodes a week, has allowed me to really sort of think about each episode and really digest it properly. And then, when I've been going over to my mate's place to watch it, and Johnny Drama, and when I go over to Johnny Drama's place and we sit down and watch it, we talk about last week's episode, we cook some dinner, and then
you watch the new.
Then we watch the new one, and it sort of really
That's
allows you
so
to
old school
dig
that
in, man.
mentality. Like when you used to watch a show, it's like
so good, and I've really enjoyed that process. Like the binging. It's kind of like you binge watch a series, and then you're like, okay, cool. You don't have a chance to really dig your heels in, and really kind of like let it consume you. Whereas watching it in steps, I feel as though it gives you a chance to really digest it.
Yeah, to think about it.
Yeah. But binge watching could work for some people too, like yourself. You're like,
well, because sometimes I'm like,
do you do that with all the shows or most shows?
No, not always. But here's the thing: these days, is because I'm trying to be so productive and do things. It's like I don't want to have little distractions here and there. I want to be like, all right, I'm gonna take today off. I'm not gonna do any work, and I'm gonna binge watch this, or I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna, so it's like I can set some time aside to do it, rather than like have it in the back of my mind, like, oh, I should go watch that little episode. Like I can do that, and then distract me from
what I
want to do. Yeah, I want to focus on things, and then when I can have my downtime, I can have a proper chunk of downtime. That's just how I work. I know that's how my brain works.
Yeah,
because I know that I can get quite easily distracted
it works different
by
for
things.
everyone. Hey?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
funny. Like I know some people that are that will watch a TV show because they are having a bit of a down moment. Like they have lost inspiration for their job or their work or whatever's happening, and they're just kind of in a bit of a no man's land. They're like, all right, I'm not going to try and force the situation. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to completely try and forget about it. It's like when you're trying to remember that song title. It's like you remember when you stop remembering it or stop thinking about it. So these people like sit down, and then they'll binge watch something to kind of escape that reality of having to try and do something or whatever like that. And then all of a sudden, boom, inspiration hits, and then they can smash out some work. And then you've got those people that need to have that gap between each episode, and they might have 7 different series on the go. But like every night they'll watch a different episode of that different series, and then they can kind of follow along with that. It's just like, and then you got those people that are like, they can only watch one series at a time. Like
I can definitely watch things at a time, and I definitely do that with some stuff. But there's some stuff that I want to, like, I think that's really cool. I want to set time aside to watch it. And I just know that I'm trying to do so much at the moment. So it's like full steam ahead on that. And then like, oh, all right.
When you reach a little lull period, you can kind of go, all right, I'm going to engage this TV show.
Hey, I've got 3 podcasts sorted. I don't need to record a podcast today. I'll watch that show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so stuff like that.
You earned it. It's a little cookie.
Yeah. But I know that's how my brain works, and
that's the most important thing, man, is knowing how you process things, knowing yourself, and knowing what you can and can't do, and setting realistic goals with how you're going to achieve them, because you're setting yourself up for failure if you try to achieve something that you actually can't kind of achieve. You need to be real with yourself and go, all right, I'm not the greatest at maths, and I've got to do my accounts. I'm not going to try and sit down and bash my head against the wall for a whole 8 hours. I'm just going to work on this for about maybe an hour, maybe half an hour. Get as much done as I can before I lose focus, and then put it aside, and I'll work on it in the afternoon or the next day. And understanding yourself and how you will ultimately be able to handle certain situations you're going to become a far more confident person
Yeah.
within yourself, I
Yeah.
believe. And
Because you know.
because
Because you know how to handle the
solid.
situation.
And then you can also say, you know what, I'm not good in this situation. I'm going to remove myself.
Yeah.
It's going to give you the confidence to say no.
Yeah.
And it's going to give you the confidence to say yes. So I think that's like one of the most important things in life is to really get to know yourself,
100%.
and what you can and can't do, what you're capable of, and being honest with yourself too, man. Like full transparent. Everybody talks about transparency in friendship, relationships, in business. It's like, no, there needs to be transparency and honesty with yourself.
That's sometimes more important than anything. Yeah.
Sometimes people lie to themselves all the time.
Yeah.
And as soon as you can start to recognize when you're lying to yourself, you're going to start improving your own life and outlook on everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's a profound experience. It's a profound kind of level of a heightened level of self-satisfaction or understanding. But once you get there, man,
and that's when you can get shit done.
Yeah, get shit done.
You know, like you figure out how you work and how you learn. Like how you learn is a big thing too. I'm big on that, telling people like figure out how you learn. You know, like
coming from you, being a teacher.
Like, no, I'm not a teacher. I work at a school, but I'm not a teacher. Everyone always says that. You're a teacher. No. I do teach music technology in term 4 with the kids.
Then you're a teacher, man. See?
But I'm not an official teacher.
Don't show yourself.
Don't
show yourself shirt. You know, like...
Yeah. But no. Yeah, definitely. And someone has told me this before. Someone on a podcast with someone who knows me quite well, they said, you're a teacher without being a teacher.
There you go, man.
You know, so it's I do recognize that, but and like knowing yourself, you know, and the beauty of what I'm doing at the moment is I've got so many things that are music related, but not the same. Podcasts, events, production, DJing, starting to write blog articles for a few things. I'm working on that right now. Some people have asked me.
Journalism.
So I'm definitely not a journalist. I've got a show called This Is Not News.
Writing. Yeah, that's why I thought I'd say it. Is there you go. Plug for your other show. This is not news.
But yeah, so you know, it's great to, and I think that's important for people too. To like, if you really love one thing, find out how to do different versions of that thing, so that you know, I can't sit there and produce all day every day, but I can organize events with people. I can do a podcast with someone. I can do an interview over the internet, like. And it's so that's how I've optimized things, and I know that that's how I work better. I've got a diverse range of things I like to do that are all slightly related, that are towards the one goal. So that's what I do, and that's because I know that works for me.
Yeah.
Some people might be just all in on one thing, and that works for them.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's knowing yourself. So.
Yeah, it is knowing yourself, man. Being honest with that is like a really important sort of life feature and life lesson. I wish I learned a little bit earlier in my life. I was very clouded with just wanting to, be liked and loved and stuff like that in my earlier, life and career. I concentrated too much on that. And I didn't get to know myself as much, and I haven't really got to know myself until later in life. Yeah, you know, and
but doesn't everyone feel like that?
No, there's some people that I've met that are very sure of themselves and got to know themselves very early in life. Like one of my best mates, he was very self-aware early in his life, and I was always I'm very envious of that, because he's gone through a lot to be able to kind of like, and made some really kind of like, you know, certain decisions, and that confidence. I've developed it later in life, but it's not something I regret. It's just something that, man, it would have been cool to be a little bit more aware of that. But it's also made me the person I am today, and developed the friendships and relationships that I'm developing today.
That's what I would say. I only started getting into dance music and DJing when I was 21. I wish I did it earlier, you know?
Yeah.
But
man, that's pretty early, dude. I'll be honest with you.
No, but you know what I mean. Like people these days are like 12, 13, and I know it's a different. I know it's a different world now, and it's more popular and all that. Yeah. But like, you know, people are 18, 17, they come out of school or whatever, and they're like, I want to do that. Whereas like back then, you know, I didn't have that. It was like,
well, there's kids coming out of school that have already got a fucking maybe a
record deal,
#1 hit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Look at Flurmy Flurm. He was what, 17, 16? He was still in high school, and he'd written that first album. Like, fucking hell, man. But he'd been producing since 12, whatever.
Yeah.
And there's kids have got access to a laptop and a production software so much
Technology's made it so much easier.
readily available now, man.
Like we were talking before, you used to have racks of gear and
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff, and that's expensive.
It is.
So expensive. Like you can't just, hey mum, can you buy me a whole rack of gear and a tape, tape reel
totally,
and
man,
all
totally.
this? Like it's just not something you can do.
Man, it was expensive to get turntables and a mixer like back in the day.
Yeah,
I
now
had
you
to
just
get my
get a
brother to help
controller
me
for a
out,
couple of hundred or whatever, and
now you
works,
can
you know?
totally, man, totally. Hey, man, I speaking of controllers, like pretty much everyone in this DJ competition that I'm judging right now, called ISO Till Late.
Oh, so is that? I wasn't sure if you were judging or if you were part of it because I
No.
saw you do a set earlier.
So that was
on, yeah.
that was just a feature set to sort of like introduce the whole event,
Yeah.
and just to do a bit of a showcase, right? So I just
Yeah.
did a showcase DJ set, and then that's on the Together Agency Twitch platform. It's Together Agency, it's Catch Management, it's Allies Management, and Young Henry's another sponsor.
Yeah.
And they're all formed together to create this DJ competition, and ISO Till Late DJs. And I'm judging it, Vanessa Cohen's judging it, Maxwell, and DJ Butcher. And so we're the judges, along with Catch Management and
and all the guys
Allies
involved
and
with that,
Together
yeah.
Agency too. Like all those guys are legends, man.
You know what? Like I was speaking to Matt Lee, who's like part of it all
Allies.
and that.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, it'd be great if you could like like help us out online, share it, as it is in the industry.
Of course.
I said, mate, I had an idea about a month ago for like Battle of the Streams.
Yeah. Cool.
You know what I mean? Like same concept basically,
Yep.
but call it Battle of the Streams, and I was like, great minds think alike.
Yeah.
It's
it's
basically,
very, very true,
but,
man. Very true.
but like, yeah, I was sort of like thinking more like get your friends together, make it the best stream, it's not just going to be based on DJ set.
So it's not just DJ skill, it's like the best
it's
stream.
also like creativity.
Maybe you can call it
production.
stream versus stream. And it's all those things. You still
Yeah.
have the ability to do that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think once again, you just thinking ahead of yourself because
It's
you've
too
got
much- I can't
you've
do
got
it
great
all,
i-
though.
exactly.
I can't do it all.
You've got great ideas, man. It's just like technology needs to catch up with your ideas.
Yeah.
So that won't be able to be done probably until now, because back then
Yeah.
when you had the idea, people didn't have the right
Didn't know how to
streams.
stream.
They didn't know how to stream. They could have had the ideas, but they couldn't execute what you were sort of
Yeah.
saying for them to execute.
I'm thinking
So
like
I think
get
now,
together with a friend, like have
I think after this DJ
have a
competition,
VJ.
great idea. Maybe through June, July, especially when it's cold, people want to be inside, right?
Yeah, but
Do-
have
do
a
that.
VJ there.
Yeah.
Have people like live streaming from their place dances.
Yeah, yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Full
Like,
production, yeah.
Technology, like get
Well, when you
together
can
with
have
your
more
group.
people, yeah, you can have more people over. Restrictions have lifted. You can actually get creative. Whereas before it was too restrictive. You could only do one, which is
Yeah.
really But let's do that, man. Let's look at that.
I want
Yeah.
to do it. Battle of the Streams, baby.
I'll do another showcase set for it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I'll have, because by that stage I'll have my own event sort of stream happening.
Yeah,
with
good.
with the food,
Nice.
and you'll be over, and we're doing that pizza thing, which is really cool.
Let's do it.
So I think that's a really, really cool idea.
Yeah.
So until then, man, like I think this ISO stream till late with Together
Oh
Agency
yeah,
has
I'm
been-
loving it. I've
it's
been
good
watching.
fun, man.
I've been watching it,
And
man.
to go back to the reason why I brought it up was the controllers. Like all
Yeah.
of these young DJs are killing it with these controllers.
Yeah.
Some of them,
The technology's so good.
some of them aren't using them to their best abilities. Shout out if you guys are still yet to do your stream. Get on it and really fucking work that MIDI controller, man. I want to see some really cool shit. Don't
you
just do a
remember
DJ set.
Do you remember back in the day when like MIDI controllers were like they didn't come pre-programmed, so you had to like map them
Oh, yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, you have to map themselves.
Yeah, and
Sure.
DJ Tech Tools and all that had like these cool mappings, and people would come out and it's like,
That was a
nah,
great website, man.
the faders aren't faders; they're like effect, like parameters and stuff, and and like all that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah, there was a
I
few.
miss that. That
Yeah,
stuff
man.
was so creative.
It was
and
creative,
so awesome.
and you can do that with these MIDI controllers. People don't understand
you
that
can map it how you want.
You can map it whatever you want, and Serato has the ability to do that. So
Yeah.
you can actually kind of reconfigure buttons. There was a hack that I love doing, and this is for all like the DJs out there that might use Serato that haven't actually that love using cue points.
Yeah.
you can actually go into the DJM 900 and you can go into MIDI map mode in Serato, and you can actually make the 4 buttons that you have on the 900 that are for
cues.
CD start.
Okay, yeah.
They're CD cue starts. You can actually set them to be your first 4 cue points.
Oh, nice.
I usually set up 1 and 2 to be the first and second cue point for the left deck, and then 3 and 4 to be the first and second cue point for the right deck. So then I can actually use that to be a little cue point thing if I want my cues, rather than reaching for my computer all the time.
Yeah.
Especially if you're DJing a set where you can't reach your computer. So, that's a really cool little hack. So you go in, you set it to MIDI map mode in Serato, because you can plug the your Serato directly into the mixer.
To the mixer. Yeah.
If you do it through the Serato box, I don't think you can.
Yeah, it's
There
got to
might
be
be another
You've
way.
got to use it as the audio.
Yeah, the sound card. But that's a really cool little hack.
Yeah.
But all of these other MIDI devices, they're already set up for it. But a lot of the people don't know that you can remap it.
Yeah.
You can change a whole bunch of shit, because there's
You
a
can
whole
make it
bunch
do
of
anything you
buttons
want.
and sliders you don't use. Just
Yeah.
because it says record or slip or any other device, just because it says that on it, it's still a MIDI button.
Yeah,
and you can
make it do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
get creative.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
I miss that DJ Tech Tool, because you'd see like back
Tech
then,
Tool's good, man.
DJ Tech
Still
Tool
is pretty good, man.
but you'd see like people and they'd be like doing crazy stuff, and it's like, oh, that's not what a slider does.
But he was also making MIDI.
Yeah, of course.
Those MIDI fighters.
Remember the MIDI fighters? Yeah, the arcade button.
I used
I want
a
to get
MIDI
one of
fighter.
them and just play with it.
I used a MIDI fighter. You'll see in my risotto video.
Yeah, I
blah,
remember
blah,
that.
blah.
Yeah.
I was using the MIDI fighter. That was
MIDI
so
fighters
dope.
was sick.
I even contacted Eon to Eon or Eden. I think it's Eon Golden. And I even contacted him about the MIDI controller, that it was too fat, and I asked him to make just one strip.
Oh yeah.
So I can put 2 strips between my mixer and my turntable, and I can be like, scratching, cutting, and be able to MIDI control it. But he hadn't developed a
board for it.
Yeah,
like
board.
A PCB board that goes that way.
Yeah, he hadn't developed a board for it, and he never got back to me. But by the time that kind of came to fruition or something being made, it was like,
Do you remember the old, like, it's
all
almost
of
like
those new mixes were
it's
coming
almost
out.
like a triangle.
The Rain and the Pioneer. Yep.
You know the little triangle one that
The
people used
dicer.
Yeah, the dicer that they used to put on the turntable, because it fits perfectly on the corner.
That was great, but the only problem there was, like, I was pretty heavy-handed, so if I was like hitting the cue point, I was hitting it a bit heavy, and the needle would skip, and the whole fucking turntable would move, and I'm just like, shit. You got to be really delicate if you're going to use one of those MIDI dicers. You got to be really kind of delicate with your touches and your, whatever. And they're great, but yeah, you got to know how it works.
Do you ever, like, when you do your cut and cook sets, like, you got to be kind of conscious of not getting stuff on your hands, like oil and stuff, so that it messes with the records?
Yeah. But at the same
wondering
time, I'm wiping my fucking hands on my apron and on my.
But oil, like, sometimes it's hard to get off.
Tonight's episode's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Working with oil, I'm going to be going through a lot of gloves. And
that's what I was going to say. Wear gloves and then take them off to mix. Yeah.
So I'll have to, when it comes to the dredging and the flouring and then the oil drop, I'm going to be using gloves, and then also tongs. And
you got to be conscious of it. It's just another level of something you've got to think about.
Add it to the list. Fuck.
Good luck, bro.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck. I wish you the best. Don't fuck up your time code vinyl.
Shit. No, man, I can't actually. I'm on to my last pair. I've got to get to store DJ and get some more. But yeah, that's definitely something that I need to be aware of and conscious of every time, even when there's not hot oil that I'm using, because I hardly use hot oil because of that factor. Even just splashes, sauces, the grill. Like whenever I put something on hot, it's sizzling and pissing all over the place. So I've got to be really careful of that. But man, there's lots of bits of food stuck all over my mixer. I usually, what people don't see is me cleaning up after the stream, and I'm there with a little rag and a microfiber sponge, and I'm cleaning all my mixer and turntables and stuff.
You should do that. The after party, the after show.
The after clean.
The after clean, where you're cleaning up.
Dude.
It's related to COVID. You got to clean it down.
It's very true, man. Yeah. My show's like, it's purely just me making some cool shit, and hopefully people can learn something. Or
man, I love the creativity and the the collaboration of two things. Like I said before, like your mum and your dad,
It's,
like bringing
that's
it in
adorable,
together.
isn't it? Yeah,
It's
very
beautiful. I
wholesome.
love it. It's good. It's
I also
wholesome as.
try and I'm also trying to play like some dope beats, something
Yeah, of
different,
course, yeah.
and you know, provide some music that maybe some people haven't heard before.
Yeah.
You know, mixed in with some tunes they may have heard before.
Yeah.
Because like shit, man, it gets onto a whole nother topic of copyright and
Yeah, that's the thing with
having
streams.
to deal with
like,
that,
you
man.
know.
Like, yeah, dude, like my Instagram feed got cut during the show last week, so I had to
Yeah.
restart that. Instagram, sorry, Twitch.
Twitch is
said
pretty good.
Twitch was pretty good, but I think Facebook silenced me
Yeah.
during the show. There's a few silenced bits, and YouTube, I think I got away with it, but
Wait, how
every week I've got
gangster?
to be a little aware of that, and I try to make them underground, you know. But it's
So you
so
don't
much,
get cut. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't get cut, and that's
Wait,
the reason why I don't play a lot.
This
of
is
popular
so
shows.
gangster.
Yeah.
Paul's live stream like level is so gangster that he's got a program that he's set up that as soon as like the thing on Facebook comes up that says you're playing copyrighted music, do you want to continue? A button presses every 10 seconds, goes okay, and clicks. So that if that comes up, he doesn't even have to touch it. It'll just go okay and get rid of it.
Fuck, that's baller.
That's so
Dude,
this
this guy is
so
a
gangster in the live stream.
This guy's a super
He
stream
doesn't
nerd.
even have to go, yes, like I want to keep streaming. Like I think
Oh,
I'm
man.
alright. Like
That
yeah.
is
That's like next level shit. Like
that's like stream geek level
Yeah.
1000, man. That's
he's a
fucking
gang.
gnarly.
He's a live stream gangster, bro.
That's stream swag.
Stream swag. Yeah. Oh, that's another great brand. Anything
Dude.
with swag at the end, I reckon, is a good branding.
Anything from swag at the end is
Especially
definitely
if it's S, you know, alliteration.
yeah,
Stream swag,
or
source
it's been
swag.
made in 2012. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. That's such a
Now
2012
it's-
word, isn't it?
Now
Swag.
it's source. No, now it's stream source. So his stream source level is like he's up to fucking stage 7 of his stream source level. Like he's
Yeah,
fucking
man,
nailing it.
definitely.
That's good, man. I reckon I could definitely pick his brain and have
Oh
a
man,
good yap.
anyone could these days because he's like, everyone's like catching up to where he is, kind of thing.
And he's been for ages, right? He's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
fucking all over it. Man,
Shout out Paul.
Yo,
Love that
shout out
dude.
Paul,
He's
man.
probably gonna be here soon. What's the time?
Oh shit.
2:20.
2:20.
All right. Well, I guess we should probably wrap it up. We said we are gonna do an hour.
Holy shit. Did
We're
we?
at,
And wait.
112 minutes. We're almost at 2 hours.
Oh.
We're close to 2 hours. So
Okay. Yeah, we're close to
Um,
it. Oh, well, I think that's good. I think that's good to wrap it up. We got under 2 hours this time. Last time
yeah,
we went
but I still
over.
got to do an intro and outro.
Ah,
So it might end up being 2
shit.
hours. Depends how much stuff you want me
It
to
probably will.
plug.
Well, let's do a recap. We did for those people that are tuning in a little bit late or haven't listened to the start
who
or
tunes
skipped.
in late?
I know, right? Holy fuck! Look at this.
We've got a mess that we'll record the after clean.
We'll record the after clean.
after clean.
Let's put
and
it on
at the end.
time lapse.
Yeah.
And then put the
I'll
Benny
do that.
Hill
I'll
theme.
speed it up later. We'll fix it in post.
I love it. So many good ideas.
Yeah.
When two great idea guys get together.
Yeah.
That should be another podcast.
Dangerous. Yeah.
You know, and it's
The
just,
ideas, guys.
it's just us talking over each other with all our ideas.
Yeah. What about this? What about this? Have you thought about this?
Oh, you know what
Let's
would be
collab
great?
on this.
You know what we should do? Here's an idea.
Yeah, no, I love it, but man, thanks. It was so good to get the cooking side. Like I said earlier, like, you know, we had the DJ side,
It's cooking without cooking.
and now we did but the food
Exactly.
side. We got the food side.
That's the point.
and we've had that. So next time,
I love it.
Maybe it is the ideas side next time, or maybe we go more into the events and your space and stuff that you've been working on, because we haven't even touched on that.
I haven't even touched on that. But
And
like
I
I
did
said,
want to
man,
know about that, but let's leave that for
but
another
that's
one.
all changing, bro.
That's what I mean.
this
That's
is
why I want to
what
know
we're-
what is. But maybe you'll have
what we're
more
going
of
through
an
is
idea
completely
of
different.
that
Yep.
when we come back again.
Stage
So
3, man. Stage 3. Maybe I'll bring.
Stage 3.
Maybe next time instead of sauces, I'll do something else that's kind of cooking, not cooking. Like,
Yes.
because of course, in here we've got the studio space. We can't really kind of have fire flames or
Well,
anything.
maybe
too
if we can get an
crazy.
electric cooking pan.
Maybe.
Electric?
Maybe do a
just
little
no
sizzle
flame.
sizzle?
No flame.
No flame. Maybe do something
We don't want to
electric.
burn the
sizzle,
studio.
sizzle.
Like we definitely run a bit of fire in here sometimes, but
Production
flames.
fire.
not flames though. So yeah,
Fucking synth
let's do
heat.
it. Yeah,
That's fucking hilarious.
awesome, man. Well,
love it.
cheers.
Cheers. I'll
Give us a
finish off
cheers.
my
You
beers,
finished, but thanks for coming in again, man. And yeah, I can't wait to see you back.
You're very welcome, man. Can't wait for next time.
I know you said it last time, but How do we find you online?
Cutloose.com.au. That's cutloose.com.au. You can
And that'll
view.
get you everywhere.
That'll get you everywhere. I've
Yep.
got all my Twitch, Facebook, YouTube stream links on that page. But for those that just want to go straight there and check out some old episodes now, by the time this drops, tonight I'm doing fried chicken. You can get on my Twitch, twitch.tv, twitch.tv/cutandcook. My Instagram is Cutloose. My website is cutloose.com.au. They're all my socials and all my backslashes and forward underscores. But yeah, dude, thank you so much for having me.
It's always a
Boom.
good time, brother. It's
Appreciate
always a
it.
good time. And also, check out abeerwith.com. I just updated it. New artwork. Butters coming through with the goods.
Dude,
with all his
he is the
artwork.
boss, man.
He's the man.
So good.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Talented
Check out
motherfucker.
buttervault.com.
Nice.
.com.au, Buttervault, whatever, look it up.
I love it.
But anyway, yeah, thanks for coming in, man. And yeah, till the next episode.
Till part 3.
Yeah, till part 3.
1, 2, 3.
Eventually we'll get to level 7.
Ready to go. Thanks, dude.
All right, thanks, man.
Fuck yeah, I love it. Oh, shit. Now we're going to clean up.